उबाल हो जिसमें ऐसा खून चाहिए, आ जाएगा आसमां भी ज़मीं पर, बस इरादों में हौसले की गूंज चाहिए. And today, this hall will echo with thoughts of change, thoughts that inspire, and thoughts that will pave the way for a better tomorrow. Today, this hall will bear testimony to how one thought, one idea, one individual, and one program can change the world. Today, this hall will stand witness to the grand finale of Youth Power 2018-19. A very, very warm welcome to all of you present. But today, this hall will also see one team bagging the title of Youth Envoy and the winner's trophy for Youth Power 18-19. Which school do you think will take the trophy home? We will find out at the end of today's program. But till then, keep cheering because your teams really, really could do with some. Now we shall begin the program with the lighting of the lamp. May I please request Ms. Veera Sharma and our guests to join us on stage. If there is anything tougher than being a Youth Power finalist, it is being a Youth Power jury member. Judging 10 teams that are neck to neck, that have worked so hard during the course of the program, is not easy. So we shall begin the program by introducing our jury members. Let's put our hands together for our first jury member for the day, Joya Bhattacharya. Dr. Joya Bhattacharya is the Associate Professor, Political Science, Gargi College, University of Delhi. During her teaching career spanning 2 decades, she has mentored several young students. She is also the recipient of the prestigious UGC Junior and Senior Research Fellowship. Let's give it up for Joya Bhattacharya. Our second jury member for the day is Ms. Karina Bhasin, Community Engagement Lead, Even Cargo. Let's welcome her with a huge round of applause, everyone. She has mobilized over 5,000 women in urban slums towards gender sensitization. She was also awarded the Young Leaders Award by Women Economic Forum. Let's give it up for Karina Bhasin. And last but not the least, let's put our hands together for Runjhun Sharma, Senior Correspondent, CNN News 18. A television journalist, she is best known for reporting exclusive stories on marginalized sections of the society. Her reportage on minority and gender oppression earned her the prestigious UN Ladli Award in 2015. Let's hear it for all the jury members. कुछ मैं बदलूं, कुछ वो बदलेगा, यूं ही तो सारा जहां बदलेगा. और यही जहां बदलने की कोशिश है यूथ पावर. A journey that through its 11 years has nurtured countless ethical leaders. Over the course of 11 years, we've heard many definitions, many descriptions of youth power. For some, it is a social leadership program, and for some, it is an inter-school competition. But for us, at the Global Times, youth power is a legacy that will inspire countless others for many years to come to be the change and bring change. On that note, I'd like to invite on stage Ms. Veera Sharma, Managing Editor, to take us through the making of this legacy in its 11th season. Let's hear it for Ms. Veera Sharma.
A very good morning to everyone present today. Welcome to the 11th Youth Park Grand Finale that empowers and inspires children to drive the change in the communities and themselves. This year-long social sensitizing leadership program is an intensive, immersive learning experience that prepares youth to be the change and bring change. The program, hailed as the largest and longest-running school sensitizing program that aims at grooming ethical leaders of tomorrow, initiated in 2008 under the leadership of Dr. Mrs. Amita Chauhan, Chairperson, Amity Group of Schools, has over the years sensitized over 1 lakh students and trained over 500 ethical leaders towards its objective of nation building as envisaged by our founder president, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan. Youth Power is organized under the aegis of the Global Times, a 12-page weekly broadsheet, the first of its kind in India, completely written by the children, for the children, of the children. The newspaper, registered with the RNI, has a circulation of 40,000 copies. Hailed as a responsible newspaper, it has heralded several social initiatives for the youth. The Youth Power program is one such ingenuity towards it that goes with the Amity insignia, Vidya Dadati Vinayam, meaning education begets humility. A visionary initiative of our revered chairperson, this program, now in its 11th year, has seen the impact that it has created in the lives of the children, their confidence and creativity to build a more inclusive, empathetic, and fair society. The first challenge to tee off the program was to launch a hunt for the right team that is committed and passionate for the cause. And for this, we published an advertisement in the Global Times in April 2018. To our surprise, we received over 500 entries that were then evaluated through personal interviews that focused on parameters like reasoning for choosing the topic to work upon, contribution to the argument and general attitude towards the subject, plan of action, and team skills. Someone rightly said, research is to see what everybody else has seen and to think what nobody else has thought. With this in mind, each team undertook both qualitative and quantitative research to have a thorough understanding of the cause undertaken that comprised the second phase of the project. All the research and finding culminated with a creative article published in the Global Times. The findings were shocking. According to Global Hunger Index, 20 crore Indians go to bed hungry every day. 26,000 tons of plastic is produced in India every day. 88% of girls in India living in poverty cannot afford disposable sanitary napkins and have to rely on home methods. Every 1 in 10 people will be at the risk of permanent blindness by 2050. With the cause and facts in place, the team set out for the third phase, that is spreading a word about the cause. How they went about it, creative and confident, is something that we shall hear today. From lighting up an entire village that lived in darkness, to installing sanitary pad dispensers in government as well as private schools, to designing an app where blind people and scribes connect, to even adopting a barren land and converting into a lush green garden. Each team undertook one impacting activity related to their topic. The objective of this stage was to bring about a change, no matter how small. The participants created a creative, practical, innovative model as organic eye gel, bone meal for bone health, period tracking calendar, and even face pack made out of waste organic peels to generate funds for the social initiative undertaken, and at the same time helped spreading awareness on the cause. Panel discussion. This round saw the Youth Power team invite experts from diverse fields for a live discussion on the chosen topic. The panel discussion raised several questions answered by experts, sensitizing the youth towards the cause, as well as motivating the young audience. The power of a group of individuals and the network of social causes cannot be underestimated. Social media and technology are undoubtedly helping to change the rules. Hence, this round of social media engagement saw the participating teams make best creative use of the social media through several accounts and handles to reach out to a larger audience. The accounts and handles were updated on a regular basis to engage the audience. 59 seconds. This round saw YP teams make short, inspiring 59-second films that give a fresh perspective on different issues. You shall be watching these movies shortly as the teams will take to the stage to present their work. There has always been a natural connection between creativity and social change. Every time a social cause arises, creative thinkers take upon creativity as an educational tool to raise awareness. Today, as part of yet another round of the program, we shall watch the participants present their cause through a 2-minute creative communication ranging from mediums as slam poetry, dance drama, plays, etc. The grand finale. Today we shall meet 10 small group of thoughtful, committed citizens who have made a positive difference in the communities with their passion and commitment to the cause. While each of them shall express their own ideas for a better world and how they put them into action, one finalist team today goes on to win the title of Youth Envoy 2018-19. I now invite Bhavna to take you on our quest to find our next Youth Envoy. Thank you.
मैं अकेला ही चला था मंजिल की ओर, लोग जुड़ते गए और कारवां बनता गया. They started out as 4 individuals, and today they stand before you as a team of not just 4 members, a team with countless others who became a part of this journey. And before this journey hits its final hour, we'd like to call our Youth Power teams to come on stage and share their journey with us. On that note, I'd like to call on stage our first team for the day, the team from AIS VKC Lucknow. I will speak what I want. After all, it is my right. Yes, but has it occurred to you that speaking responsibly is also your duty? Rights and duties have always gone hand in hand. Unfortunately, we've saved rights from duties and only remembered our privileges, forgetting what we are responsible for. Bringing back the balance is the team from AIS VKC Lucknow. We have on stage team leader Soumya Rai and her team members Anushka Singh, Pragati Nigam and Anisha Singh. Let's hear it for AIS VKC Lucknow.
With great power comes great responsibility. This initiative gave us the power to make a difference, but with it came the responsibility of our self-awareness. The Youth Power program for AIS Lucknow commenced not only with the events involved in it, but also by educating ourselves. To spread awareness, we had to be aware first. Continuous research and reading gave us the power to spread knowledge.
Purpose for our Youth Power initiative was rights and duties. Our rights and duties, how much thought do we really put into them? We know that they're ours and that they exist, but are we able enough to protect them and claim them at the time of crisis? This fear of not being capable of claiming what is ours is what inspired us to take this topic. To understand the importance of rights and duties, we conducted a survey in which we came to know about the knowledge that parents, like the people, possessed and believed in law and order system to protect their rights and duties.
We were shocked to see that so many people were doubtful about the capabilities of police and courts. Hence, we spread awareness, clearing all their doubts regarding the same.
As charity begins from home, our first event that was organized was within the school premises, Special Assembly on Human Values. It is the self-initiative that matters, and it can be only inculcated through the values within ourselves. So, the Youth Power team, along with the teachers and the students, went on protecting the rights of the people.
Through our research work on case studies, we realized that the unorganized sector was the most deprived from the education of rights and duties. By the event of Diya Sale, we gave them a platform to sell their handmade diyas and decorative items and promoted their right to livelihood. This not only empowered them, but also enlightened us about the plight of the sector.
We invited Mr. Rashid Murtaza, a renowned lawyer who ushered upon his wisdom on the students and staff. Through informative brochures, we came to know about various terms. The topic that we chose that he ushered his wisdom upon was Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act 2012.
Clean environment breeds clean mind. With our complete hard work and dedication, we made the students aware of their rights and duties. They realized the importance of their dispensed rights and duties. We also fulfilled our duty of protecting the environment by performing a tree plantation activity on the school ground.
One of our team members visited the Shiro's Cafe, which is gaining popularity due to the brave acid attack survivors who are working there efficiently. On interaction with the survivors, our team member got to know the daily challenges and discrimination faced by them, and he was deeply impacted by it.
Inspired by this, the Youth Power team initiated a screening of short films on discrimination of acid attack survivors so that the students will be empathized by them and also realize the importance of right to equality.
We ended our journey by reaching out to all Lucknowites by promoting our cause in the Run for 9 marathon, which was organized to help people get acquainted with right to health among women. We participated in the marathon and ran for about 10 kilometers.
The Youth Power program was a life-changing experience for us, as we, as the youth of the country, got a chance to spread awareness about our rights and duties among the masses. We learned a lot of new things and made a remarkable difference in others and in us.
Thank you.
Now, moving on to our question and answer session. May I please invite the first question from the jury?
Thank you, girls. I think you did a wonderful job. My only question is that, rights are a claim on the state. This is what the Constitution guarantees us as citizens. And I think that in your project, you sort of emphasized more on our duties. And not so much on our rights, which we need to question authority for our rights. So I found that you didn't question authority enough, because this is a collective claim on states and governments. Just a comment, actually. I mean, it's not a question.
In the presentation, very interesting presentation, the last frame said that it's our duty to promote the feeling of nationalism. If you could elaborate on that a little bit, what is nationalism according to you, and how is it your duty to promote the feeling of nationalism?
So, nationalism, it's about a country, how we associate ourselves with it. Our country becomes our identity when we go somewhere else. But what if when we are in our own country, do we take that pride when we are here? Do we respect our country? Nationalism is not only about standing in national anthems, buying flags on Independence Day, taking parts. It's about a feeling. It's about feeling that every day, respecting our country every day. We always say that India mein aisa kuch nahi ho paega, and this country, we always complain. We always have a habit of complaining. But what we don't get is that to respect our country, nationalism is bringing change to help our country, to help ourselves. So that is what nationalism is, according to our project.
May we have the second question from Karina, please?
Thank you and congratulations for performing so well. I have a very basic question to ask. Which have been your favorite right while you were working on rights and duties? Which is the most important right you feel is actually the most fundamental and should and can promote democracy?
Right to life.
And we believe that if there's right, there should be remedy. And right to constitutional remedy, according to us, is the most fundamental right, because there's no point of other rights if the constitutional remedies are not there. Like, we cannot say that it is fundamental. The other rights are useless if there's no remedy, if they get violated. So according to us, it is right to constitutional remedy that should be given the most priority and should be maintained in a country.
भाई रसगुल्ले खा खा करना खुद रसगुल्ला बन गया है।
और भाई ऊपर का मौसम कैसा है?
Aren't you a little too skinny to wear that dress? Somebody get her a burger. You know, Fair and Lovely exists, right? You should probably use it.
तुझे बचपन में मम्मी ने कॉम्प्लान नहीं पिलाया?
अरे यार अंधेरे में तो दिखता ही नहीं होगा।
Oh my God, look at you. You should probably hit the gym.
भाई मैं रसगुल्ले की जगह तुझे ही ना खा जाऊं।
क्या आवाज नहीं आ रही ग्राउंड फ्लोर से?
Hey, I might be slim, but my chances are not. You know you have a brain, right? Maybe you should probably use it.
तुझे बचपन में मम्मी ने च्यवनप्राश नहीं खिलाया?
कभी रोशनी में अपनी सोच ढूंढ के देखी है?
Honey, the only thing I should hit is you.
Kala, mota, patla, chota. Body types. No. Body shamers. And who is shaming them? Us. The ones who think that they have been blessed with the upper hand to define ideal body types and then judge others on those ideal types. Thankfully, someone thought differently. Thankfully, there was the YP team of Amity Vasundhara 1 who took up the task of unlabel. Let's put our hands together for team leader Shakshi Maurya and her team members Mansi Anand, Shreya Tuli and Anika Joshi. Let's hear it for Amity Vasundhara 1.
एक लड़की को देखा तो ऐसा लगा
जैसे लंबा कद और ये पतली कमर जैसे.
Shame, shame, shame for setting such unrealistic body goals, for being part of this plague knowingly or unknowingly.
A very good morning to one and all present here. I, Sakshi Maurya, along with my team members,
Mansi Anand,
Anika Joshi.
Shreya Tuli.
bring to you our journey as Team Unlabeled.
It must be your mother's fault that she could not wash the black of your skin. Doesn't she know that the color black is a sin?
Sin? Yes, it is a sin. Not my color, but what you think. Just like everybody else, you've labeled me ugly. But let's skip these norms and look at the study.
Body shaming is majorly faced by those in their teens or pre-teens. Almost 91% people feel that it is a major issue that needs to be addressed. 63.2% people are victims of body shaming on daily basis. Almost 63.2% people believe that both men and women are equally vulnerable to body shaming.
Isn't it saddening to see how many of these victims sit in the audience today? How many of us have experienced this every single day? You, or you? We are saddened, yet sure that each one of you have experienced the pain and hurt that accompanies being body shamed.
अरे ओ ऊंचे खंबे, हर किसी को तू सलाम करता है. बास्केटबॉल तो खेलता ही होगा, फोटो के फ्रेम में फिट होने के लिए मरता है.
ऊंचे तो है ख्वाब भी और लंबा हमारा सफर है. रोक लगाएंगे इन सभी तानों पर, जिस पर होगा हम सभी को गर्व.
The aim always is to reach new heights, and this was prioritized through activities like street play competition and chain of appreciation. Our thoughts were transmitted to the different ends of the world when we were published on the website of She the People TV, India's biggest storytelling platform for women. And thus, we settled the equation that bronze equals beauty.
बेटा थोड़ा और खाओ, जरा अपना कद तो बढ़ाओ. कॉम्प्लान पियो वरना जिंदगी भर रह जाओगी बच्ची. आखिर लंबाई ही तो लगती है अच्छी.
छोटी है जो ये तुम्हारी सोच, इसका ही है दोष. छोटी जो है ये तुम्हारी सोच, इसका ही है दोष. ऐसे छोटे छोटे कदम हमने भी उठाए और समाज में कुछ बदलाव लाए.
Short people are way too small to fit in a brain, right? Wrong. Students displayed their creativity by writing tiny tales on body shaming, whose size definitely outweighed the meaning. We also conducted the Unsune Khat Ka Pitara activity, where students talked about their issues which affected them and how their bodies felt much better once they participated in this initiative. Thus, we proved that your body size does not define your capabilities.
जो तुम ये इतने मोटे हो, गलती तो है ही तुम्हारी. शरीर फैल गया है, आओ करो जिम की तैयारी.
तैयारी तो होगी ही, पर जिम के लिए नहीं, तुम्हारी बुद्धि के लिए जो सालों से है बंद पड़ी. शरीर इतना बड़ा है, सोचो जिद कैसी होगी. ठान लिया है अब हमने, हम सोच बदलेंगे सबकी.
Shaking his belly like pot full of jelly, Santa Claus is the most wholesome example of fat people who aren't body shamed. Thus, we brought the activity Santa Dress Up to provide perfect support to encourage self-love among the underprivileged students of Makkanpur Government School. We organized numerous activities like Ad Dart, Skin Shades Tattoo, Likes and Dislikes, etc.
डंडी बोलो या बोलो स्केलेटन, तुम्हारे लिए तो जस्ट किडिंग भाई, वी वर जस्ट हैविंग फन. हवा चलेगी तो उड़ जाओगे, किसी की पकड़ में आ भी पाओगे.
पकड़ में मैं नहीं, पकड़ में वो आएगा जिसने बॉडी शेमिंग कर आतंक मचाया. देखते ही देखते वो ही अकेला रह जाएगा.
Size 0 is the new ideal, right? No, we had better ideas, and these were displayed through letters written by body shaming victims to their members, to their shamers, for explaining the various feelings they had because they were body shamed.
Optimista, the ideal body positive magazine, was also
the buzzer
created
going off, team.
by the school editorial board, which spoke about people of different professions and how they contributed to body shaming.
मंजिल चाहे दूर है पर हौसले भी जिद्दी है आत्मविश्वास है पूरा बस कामयाबी को है छूना सपने हजार हैं और आवाज है बुलंद होगी बॉडी शेमिंग की हार आज सबके संग सबके संग सबके संग.
Our journey definitely taught us a lot, but most prominently, it taught us how to give love and receive it in return. We aim to change the life of at least one person, and people's response to our initiative made us feel proud of the work we did. To every such girl and boy expected to look a certain way, to every person in the crowd today who has gone through the trauma of body shaming, if I can stand here 5 feet tall, if I can stand here with my dark skin,
If I can stand here being chubby,
If we can stand here with our imperfect, perfect bodies,
so can you. Thank you.
She just wants to be beautiful. She goes unnoticed. She knows no limits. She craves attention. She praises an image she prays to be sculpted by the sculptor. Oh, she don't see the light that's shining deeper than the eyes can find it. Maybe we're made of blind souls. She tries to cover up her pain and cut her woes away. 'Cause cover girls don't cry after the face is made. But there's a hope that's waiting for you in the dark. You should know you're beautiful just the way you are. And you don't have to change a thing. The world could change its heart. No scars, see you're beautiful. With stars and we're beautiful. And you don't have to change a thing. The world could change its heart. No scars, see you're beautiful. With stars and we're beautiful. She has dreams to be an envy, so she's starving. You know, cover girls eat nothing. She says beauty is pain and there's beauty in everything. What's a little bit of hunger? I can go a little while longer. She fades away. She don't see her perfect. She don't understand she's worth it. All that beauty goes deeper than the surface. Oh, oh. So to all the girls that's hurting, let me be your mirror. Help you see a little bit clearer. The light that shines within. There's a hope that's waiting for you in the dark. You should know you're beautiful just the way you are. And you don't have to change a thing. The world could change its heart. No scars, see you're beautiful. With stars and we're beautiful.
Moving on to the question and answer session, may I invite the first question from Miss Runjun, please?
Beautiful presentation, guys. I'd like to ask you, before you all went on teaching students in government schools and before creating awareness, of course, unfortunately, all of us have been brought up in an environment where we've grown up watching Fair and Lovely ads and, watching ridiculous Bollywood movies and listening to ridiculous songs. Did you ever have a moment where you thought that I think I am also ingrained to body shaming? Or have I ever thought of, oh shit, am I dark or is my friend dark? If you ever had that, how did you combat that before you went on creating awareness?
We think that before we should ask someone to accept that, to adopt a lifestyle, we should practice it once, and acceptance is the key. So first of all, we, discovered that this is such a big issue, and when we are in bed, and we always think about things, and whether or not we, openly accept it in public, We all have our fears of not having the perfect body, being too short or dark. So first we overcame that. As individuals, we have to accept ourselves, and that is what we did. The first step was accepting ourselves and then asking others to accept themselves the way they are.
Can we have the second question from Ms. Joya?
Thank you for a wonderful presentation. We really enjoyed it. You see, body shaming is a gender-neutral term, but do you think that women are targeted more and that women bear the brunt of body shaming? And if so, why? And like continuing from Runjhun, how difficult is it to attack casual sexism, in our everyday lives?
Ma'am, I think both men and women are equally vulnerable to body shaming and are equally targeted as well. But the way media represents women in various movies, songs, all those mediums, I think those target women more than they do for men. Because throughout our research, we found out so much that affects men as well. The way the gyms force them, the way if the muscular body type is considered. So they are supposed to match up to that level. So all of these things affect guys as well, but at this point we think they are not very open about the topic. Like when we were beginning with our journey, we approached a number of guys as well to be part of the core team, and somehow, because of some reason, they were not very accepting of the topic. They were not very sure it was worth working on. So I think that has changed, and we are still working on trying to change that.
Let's hear it for Amity Vasundhara 1. Thank you, team. There's something to go ahead. Go ahead. We have another question.
Congratulations and thank you. I don't have any question. I just want you to share one success story while writing that letter to bullies, or from that Unsune Khatka Pitara, or whatever tangible change that you have tried bringing. Was there anything tangible? Any one success story if you would like to share?
Ma'am, during our journey, we went to Makkanpur Government School. Ma'am, there we conducted several activities, as we just told. Ma'am, one success story that was very touching. After we visited Makkanpur School twice. So, like, first time we conducted some activities, we told about our issue, we talked to the students, and we asked them how they felt about the issue. Are they also being body shamed? How do they feel about themselves? So we had a chat with them, and there was this girl. She came to us. She told us that मुझे अपनी body अच्छी नहीं लगती, and मुझे सब ऐसे बोलते हैं, मुझे सब पतला बोलते हैं, दीदी मैं ज़्यादा काली हूँ क्या? And the second time we visited, we talked to her. We told her that it is okay. You need to accept it. There are flaws everywhere, but we are perfect the way we are. So we talked to her, and the second time we visited her, her exact words were, "Didi, मुझे अब अपनी body अच्छी लगती है." That was so touching. The warmth we felt after that, we can't explain it. That feeling, that was it. Thank you, ma'am.
Let's hear it for Amity Vasundhara 1.
As we are all living in the modern society, being vegan is easy for everyone. So, funding the slaughter of billions of animals each year is really unnecessary. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, but morality is subjective though.
Right. I keep forgetting that.
Hey, are you crazy? What are you doing?
Didn't like his face.
How is that a reason to shoot him?
Oh, but it's fine because morality is subjective.
No, it's not. Killing others just because you are in the mood for it is not a justification. Listen, animals aren't smart as humans. They don't contribute to society. And in general, they are just different from us. Dude, stop this!
No, it's fine though. He was mentally retarded. He didn't contribute to society. And he had a different body. Hardly human looking. He was just different from us.
We were taking about justification for killing for our taste buds, not killing for any trivial reason.
It's sad that we've chosen our palate over our planet. 15% greenhouse emissions result from production of non-vegetarian food alone. 11,000 gallons of water can be saved on an annual basis if each one of us switches to vegetarianism. But who cares, as long as it is finger-licking good. Thankfully, someone cares. Someone we call the team of Amity Jagdishpur. Let's hear it for team leader Ishan Agarwal and team members Aftab Alam, Asmita Singh and Anjali Tripathi. Let's hear it for Amity Jagdishpur, everyone.
Wait, Ashmita, what's wrong with our PPT? What's happened to your teeth? And why animals are killing human beings?
I was just joking. Both animals and humans have gone crazy. Now, animals are doing the same what we had done with them previously.
But they must not do this.
Yes, you are right. We all are living beings and it's our top priority to behave properly with each other and maintain the balance on earth.
So, a very good morning to one and all present here. Today we, the youth part team of AIE Jagdishpur is here to take you a year-long journey which we took for fetching the need of vegetarianism and spreading the awareness about the same.
So first, we will tell you why we had chosen the topic vegetarianism.
One day during the lunch break, we saw most of our friends brought non-veg dishes in their lunch box. Seeing this, we got little bit irritated and we thought to choose the topic vegetarianism as it contributes in the development of our country and also fulfills the aims and objectives of youth power.
So, if you love animals,
if you care about the environment,
if you want to be healthy,
and if you want to feed world's hunger, open your mind and heart
and be ready to mark the words.
So we are going to start by telling you all some of the consequences of non-vegetarian diet, which is only responsible for our ill health and our ailing planet. So here are the causes that why we want non-vegetarianism should be replaced by vegetarianism.
Overheating our planet,
eating a plant,
drinking too much water,
causing deforestation,
poisoning of earth,
spoiling the oceans,
ruining the air,
and making us prone to diseases.
The fact that surprised us and probably will gonna surprise you all is that around 10 billion chickens, nearly 1.5 billion of cows, over 1 billion of sheep and goats, and nearly 1 billion of pigs were murdered over a year just due to non-veg diet.
To convert our dream into reality, we, the YP members, organize many activities.
So firstly, for understanding the topic more deeply and to know the views of general public, we held surveys at different levels, among students, among teachers, and among general public. As we are living in 21st century, how can we forget modern technologies? So with the help of these technologies, we conducted a survey on surveymonkey.com globally. We also created our FB and Instagram accounts, and many people got engaged us with our cause.
To know about their knowledge on vegetarianism, we organized extempore, and we found that people liking non-veg dishes are more. So next day in the morning assembly, we presented a speech on vegetarianism, and as a result, many students got motivated and came to know that veg dishes provide equal or more benefits than non-veg dishes, and also provides a better environment.
To enhance our knowledge, we held an interview with DK Tyagi, a social activist who had changed himself from non-vegetarian to vegetarian and now inspiring thousands of people in their locality for the same. He introduced us with the spiritual as well as scientific side of vegetarianism.
After organizing these 4 to 5 activities, we, the YP members, concluded that our locality is not fully fledged aware of the topic. And surprisingly, in this era also, there are many myths and rumors spreaded in our country, which act like a barrier in achieving the aims and objectives of our project.
The environment around us is facing huge stress and damage, which is all caused by human actions. But do you all know that meat and other animal products are a heavy burden on our environment? So there are a number of benefits of vegetarian diet.
Preserve habitats and species,
lowers blood pressure.
There are more phytochemicals, plant compounds with many antioxidants and other cancer-reducing properties in vegetarian diet.
It improves metabolism and also lowers the body weight. So these were the benefits of vegetarian diet.
So now, we would like to present before you more activities that we conducted to promote vegetarianism.
We are not master chef like Sanjeev Kapoor, but still we tried our best to make some dishes with vegetables. And the dishes which we made were namkeen dalia, fruit custard, etc. And at last, हमारी मेहनत रंग लाई and student liked our dishes. They graced their precious words on us. वाह, क्या खाना बना है. Another activity which we organized was cooking competition and students actively took part in it. The motive of organizing these two activities was to show students that veg dishes are tasty, healthy and also help us in becoming wealthy.
In our survey, we had put a question that how we can spread awareness more by posters, film screening or video content. Most people opted for film screening and as ये public है सब जानती है, it was more effective and attractive to understand the causes.
We all know animals are being killed on the name of religion, which we think is not right. So we played Nukkad Natak on the street to spread awareness among the people that instead killing of animals, we can cut a cake in the shape of those animals. By doing this, वो कहते हैं ना, एक तीर से दो निशाने. In the same way, life of several of animals can be saved and ritual of the festival will also be maintained.
It's a fact that eating meat requires 3 times more land than a vegetarian diet.
So finally, we prepared a recipe book because many people think that non-veg dishes are tastier than veg dishes. So we prepared a recipe book in which we wrote ingredients and procedures of various veg dishes which could replace non-veg dishes.
Humans are naturally vegetarian and they ignore it. One of world's leading experts in diet and health, Professor T. Collin, who has been studying on nutrition and health for 40 years, believes that the closer we get to totally plant-based diet, the more benefit we will get to our health.
Sooner we diss this myth that meat make man, the better for our health. We were never meant to eat meat. Our bodies were never designed to eat flesh, and our health is suffering because of it. As soon as we exclude animal products from our diet, our own health, our planet's health, as well as life of several of animals will surely become better.
And only then we can claim to be an intelligent ape.
Yes, you are 100% right.
So, we, the YB member, thinks that vegetarianism is a boon for us. What's your view?
If you also think same, you can take baby steps for being vegetarian. So, as boon boon se ghada bharta hai, you can start celebrating Tuesday as only Veg Day. Veg Day, Tuesday.
So we will like to stop here by requesting from all of you that
Thank you.
भूल गया इंसान की वो पहले क्या था. भूल गया इंसान की भगवान ने उसे किस रूप में धरती पर भेजा था. भूल गया इंसान की वो पहले क्या था. भूल गया इंसान की भगवान ने उसे किस रूप में धरती पर भेजा था. आज उसी रूप को इंसान ने बेबस और लाचार बना दिया. भूल गया इंसान कि वो भी पहले जानवर था. क्यों लेते हैं हम उनकी जान अपने शौक पूरे करने के लिए. क्यों करते हैं उनका इस्तेमाल अपने को ढकने के लिए. क्या हुआ अगर वो बोल नहीं सकता पर दी है जिंदगी भगवान ने सभी को. क्या इंसान ये देख नहीं सकता. बनाया गया था हमें अच्छाई के लिए, बदल गया इंसान अपनी भलाई के लिए. अरे रुक जा रे बंदे, बंद कर तेरा कहर. बनाया है उसे भी भगवान ने जीने के लिए. ना दे उसे जहर, ना दे उसे जहर.
रुक जा रे बंदे,
have the team on stage for the Q&A session? Team, can you please come center stage? Can you please step forward? Can we have the first question from Miss? I see you already have a question.
My question to you is, we as a human being is omnivore and we are a part of a food chain. Me going completely herbivore and not choosing to be a carnivore, will it affect my food chain, the food chain?
Yes, ma'am. There are too many animals who kill other animals for their foods. And the food chain will be maintained if we come to be herbivore. And as Darwin says, human evolve, human absorb. So as we are growing, we can be herbivore. I know that when at Stone Age, we were omnivores. And this sooner we grow, the more we become vegetarian.
Ma'am, we are not only who eat carnivore, who eat animals. There are many more animals who eat them. So if we will stop, then surely it will affect our health, and surely the food chain, which is now getting degrading day by day because of our own activities and because of our self-satisfaction, will surely become better.
Hi guys. Two things. One is, are you all saying that we should have vegetarian food, or you're saying that we should be vegan? Because vegan also involves leaving milk. So if you could elaborate a bit on that. And also, traditionally, a lot of communities are known for eating meat. How do you think we can, what do you think is the solution? Because a complete ban on slaughterhouses could cause a drift there.
Ma'am, we think that our topic was vegetarianism, not to be vegan. Because in our country, we treat cow as a mother. So if we will stop eating, if the milk which we get from the cow, we don't put any dragger on it to get the milk. So we can't stop this. So our topic was vegetarianism. And another question which you asked, please ask again.
What I want to ask is, there are a lot of communities in the country that traditionally eat a lot of milk. There are a lot of parts in India where there's no vegetation. Farmers largely, they depend on cattle. They rear cattle and they don't do farming per se of different vegetables. So what do you think is the solution in those parts of the country?
Firstly, we think that our topic is vegetarianism, so we can eat dairy products. And another thing which is that if we will start, we were trying to bring a change. So if we have started one step. So if slowly this message spread to country, then only one can become aware of it. And then if we want that in a second everything can be changed, it is not possible. But we can start by supplying the materials or which vegan diet. We can supply it to different part of our state where it is lack. By this, development of our country will also take place, and surely this will also be taken. Ma'am, in starting, we three were vegan from starting, but he was not vegetarian, he was not vegetarian. But we think that if we want to spread awareness among the people and we want to change them, then it's our top priority to first change him. And during firstly he was irritated, but after some time and for our project, through coming to Noida, he has been changed himself, and then we have tried.
Let's hear it for Amity Jagdishpur, everyone. Before we move on, I wish to welcome a very, very special guest amidst us. Our chief guest for the day, Ms. Maha Siddiqui, Associate Editor, CNN News 18. Let's welcome her with a huge round of applause, everyone. An acclaimed journalist, she specializes in reporting parliament, politics, and foreign affairs. In a career spanning 15 years, she's worked with several media houses and publications, including Times of India, DD News, NewsX, and India Today. Let's give her a huge, huge round of applause, everyone. With elections around the corner, a journalist making it here is big news, so let's give her a huge round of applause. We also have amidst us Ms. Bhavna Kulshrestha, Principal, Amity Vasundhara 1. Amity International Schools, I'm sure we can give the principals a slightly more warm welcome than this. Let's welcome Ms. Aarti Gupta, Principal, Amity Global School, Gurgaon. Let's put our hands together for Ms. Savita Mehta, Vice President, Amity Media Cell. We also have amidst us Miss Meenu Kavar, Principal, Amity Mayur Vihar. Let's put our hands together for Miss Sunila Atle, Principal, Amity Vasundhara 6. Thank you, principals, for taking out time and being here with us today. And now we shall continue with our presentations.
What's one word that comes to your mind when I say the word period? Chumps. Stomachaches.
Pride of femininity.
It's blood. Glass period. Would you consider yourselves to be well educated when it comes to menstruation?
I don't know what I don't do.
Somewhat.
Not exactly.
Yes, of course.
70%. I'm very well educated about it.
So what's the full form of PMS?
I don't know that.
It's a premenstrual syndrome.
Would you be able to tell me what this is?
Yes, this is a tampon.
You are asking about menstruation?
Yes.
Menstruation.
There are over 355 million menstruating women and girls in India. And yet, millions of them await a hygienic and safe menstrual experience. Team Pravakriti, the youth power team of Amity Noida, came up as the ray of hope. Spreading the message of period positivity, we have on stage team leader Tanvi Vij and her team members Ananya Grover, Tarini Pathak and Satyam Mehta. Let's hear it for Amity Noida, everyone.
Asha was 11 when she had her first period. Sitting in class when she looked down to see her skirt soaked in red, her first thought was, "Main marne wali hu kya?" 84% of the girls in India don't even know what is happening to them when they first menstruate. I was one of them.
आशा जैसी करोड़ों लड़कियों के जीवन में बदलाव लाने की आशा के साथ बना प्रभाकृति.
Prava means flow and Kriti means a beautiful creation. Our mission was to convince people that this flow of life is nothing but beautiful. We started off by gaining a thorough understanding of the issue by conducting a citizen survey at Durga Puja and interacting with experts like Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, Mr. Manish Sisodia.
आशा ने अपनी माँ से सुना था, किसी को इसके बारे में पता ना चल जाए. काश आशा को किसी ने बताया होता कि पीरियड्स होते क्या हैं.
Through open mic sessions, debates, panchayat, games like hopscotch and even math problems, Pravakriti normalized periods for girls in our school and in the schools for the underprivileged. We made sure everyone knew the biological working and was comfortable talking about it.
We organized a pad donation drive at Shilpotsav, sold period-healthy cupcakes at our winter carnival, and developed a chatbot that can answer any query about periods.
Our message was broadcast locally through coverage in Hindi newspapers, nationally through interviews at Radio Mirchi, Red FM, and Radio City, and globally through our TED Talk and social media.
12 साल की आशा पीरियड्स में स्कूल नहीं जाती थी, स्पोर्ट्स नहीं खेलती थी और मंदिर भी नहीं जाती थी. इस रोक टोक में किसी ने उसके बारे में नहीं सोचा और उसे भी पूछने में शर्म आती थी. इसी लापरवाही के कारण उसे इन्फेक्शन हो गया.
23 million Indian girls our age miss school due to shame and poor menstrual hygiene. Pravakriti not only equipped all female washrooms in our own school with sanitary napkin dispensers, but also installed these dispensers in multiple charitable and NGO-run schools. Now more than 5,000 girls and women in these schools never have to worry about being stuck without a pad. School absenteeism and chances of infection have therefore been reduced.
We organized a workshop with Dr. Chandola on the importance of physical education for menstrual health for all the teachers of our school. Our Iron Lady Challenge was both a virtual and a real success. We replaced the regular steel utensils with cast iron kadhais in our school canteen. These infuse iron in the food, thus preventing iron deficiency in girls due to heavy bleeding.
With the hustles of life, it is tough for women to cope up with so many things at once. So to educate all women to track their menstrual cycle, we designed a original period tracking calendar complete with colorful stickers. One big milestone was to teach Amitasha students to make their own reusable, eco-friendly and hygienic sanitary napkins using something as simple as old towels.
और इन आचार से ज़्यादा खट्टे सुपरस्टिशियस विचारों का क्या?
With each initiative, we battled against these khatte vichar, the superstitious myths and taboos surrounding menstruation. An Amazon ebook created by us called It's Code Red empowered every girl to embrace menstruation as a natural, beautiful part of her womanhood. We equipped the school library with It's Code Red and other informative books like Menstrupedia to enable students to read and learn more.
13 साल की आशा को लगा कि इस सब के बाद वो कुछ भी कर सकती है, लेकिन उसके बैग में पैड देखकर जब क्लास के सारे लड़के उसका मजाक उड़ाने लगे, उस दिन वो पहली बार सबके सामने फूट फूट कर रो पड़ी।
Through our activities, we magnified the voices of girls and the issues they have faced, involved boys, and created a progressive and supportive atmosphere for more than 2,000 women in our own school, be it students, Amitasha girls, teachers, staff members, or Didis.
To sensitize both boys and girls, we created a video game called The Crimson Crusade, which is available on our website. Players break taboos in order to progress in the game.
At the Period Fest and Pad Yatra, a massive rally to sensitize the public, Prabhakriti's rally cries echoed across CP Central Park. Our Nukkad Natak created ripples.
और अब स्टोरी में ट्विस्ट हम लाते हैं। What if Asha had a handy kit consisting of whatever she needed during menstruation?
Prabhakriti made over 1,000 period kits consisting of a pad, ginger tea and dark chocolate for relieving cramps, paper soap and sanitizer for maintaining hygiene, and newspaper for disposal. And these were distributed in government schools and carnivals. All the boys of the school were involved in making these kits, which educated them.
What if Asha never had to suffer through the embarrassment of sitting in stained clothing?
We formulated our very own stain removal solution consisting of simple ingredients like vinegar and lime juice. And this was placed in every girl's washroom and the medical room.
आशा केवल लाखों में एक है।
प्रभाकृति ने दिन रात काम किया ताकि उसके जैसी हर लड़की और हर औरत का राइट टू एजुकेशन, राइट टू हेल्थ और सबसे ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट राइट टू डिग्निटी एंड इक्वालिटी मेंस्ट्रुएशन के कारण कभी कॉम्प्रोमाइज ना हो।
Pravakriti may have been a small step by 4 youngsters, but it was a giant leap towards a world where Asha and millions of girls like her can dream without limits.
रंग है कुरुक्षेत्र की मिट्टी का जो, रंग है सिंदूर का वो, रंग है मेरे खून का जो, कहती है दुनिया उसे एक दाग, है वो मेरे सिर का ताज। Thank you.
I see. I'll tell you what I see. I see red. I see girls using husks and ashes, dust and cloth patches. Is this what years of revolution have come to?
I see the abhorred glances of the world. I see it eyeing me in disgust.
But I ask myself how something capable of giving life to all of humanity can ever be tainted. Because I see it in my heart, how you and me alike are painted in the blood from a mother's womb you so conveniently claim to be contaminated.
I'll tell you what I hear. I hear the ancient tales of how I carry the world's sin in my womb. I hear warnings, bizarre and archaic, and a long list of rules.
I hear the bells chiming in the distance from the temple you forbade me to enter. I hear the sound of your stern nose, left, right, and center.
But I hear the sound of a crying child, born and fed out of the very same process that you despise. And it is in this moment that I realize that I am nothing but the source of strength, creation, and life.
I taste. I'll tell you what I taste. I taste the sour lies I tell when people ask me what is wrong, marinated by the embarrassment that courses through my veins,
right along with the blood that you so adamantly call impure. But I taste the sweet courage when I accept my blood as the beginning of creation rather than a curse of destruction.
And I wonder when the world would rise above their saddening misconceptions.
I smell. I'll tell you what I smell. I smell sulfur and brimstone, akin to my own personal hell, when people call my pain a luxury, enforcing taxes on my misery.
I smell the pungent scent of my own body, which I'm told to mask. What is that peculiar smell? They often ask. It's the sweet scent of womanhood and the empowering scent of life, I say.
It's the essence of Ma Durga before whom you pray every day.
I touch. I'll tell you what I touch. I touch the flames of my own rage as I turn the pages of a magazine and see another string of birds throwing printed stones at me.
But look here, as I touch a jar of pickle, take a spoonful and and eat it with my roti like I would do on any day of the month. Because today is the day that I liberate and break free.
I touch my cheeks, now stretched by a smile.
At being a woman, I feel nothing but pride.
Moving on to the Q&A session. Ms. Runjun, can we have the first question from you, please?
Very well done, guys. I'm so proud of you. I'd just like to ask you, what are some of the misconceptions you thought are still there in the society while you were doing this project? I'm sure you spoke to a lot of people. What is that one misconception which was there throughout, and how do you combat that?
So one of the biggest misconceptions surrounding periods is that you're not supposed to talk about it. No matter what, you can't say the word periods. I mean, it's a normal topic. People talk about pollution, people talk about food wastage, they talk about every topic. But menstrual hygiene, that's a big no. Wherever we went, for example, we set up a stall at Shilpotsa festival where people came up to us and threatened us, asking why are we speaking so publicly about such a sensitive topic. We've been to government and charitable schools where there are girls who've come up to us and told us that they do not know what this is because their mothers have told them never ever to talk about it. So this is one thing we've seen throughout. Wherever we've gone, whatever class of people we've met, everybody's reluctance to speak about menstruation.
Congratulations, I'm so proud of you. I just cannot tell you how I'm proud of you. When questioned Satyam specifically to you, why you a padman? Why you padman? Why you a padman? Why are you the part of this team and this, why have you taken up this project?
Okay, so when I heard about, I had studied about this topic in 8th class, and I didn't know that there was such bad myths and taboos surrounding this topic, and I didn't know that people were so ashamed of talking about this particular topic, even though it is a natural process of women. And when I came to know that this team was was running campaigns for this topic, I was really moved and I really wanted to do something.
Do we have any other question for the team? We have another question for the team.
Congratulations. And I just wanted to know that after doing this for a year, how easy has it been for you to talk to the guys in your class about this? How comfortable are you now, if it's a before and after scenario?
So initially, we had our own friends coming up to us and just asking, "Kyun kar rahe ho ye? Aur kuch nahi mila karne ko." But we involved them. We asked them to write letters encouraging young girls. And the more they were involved, the more they understood what it's like for us as girls, as women, what we go through every month. It's not just cramps, it's not just PMS, it's not just blood stains. It's so much more. It's society's pressure. And now, after a year, I suppose if a guy would come up to me and talk to me and just say, "To acha, is it that time of the month?" I won't feel reluctant to tell him, "Yeah, I'm on my period." I would be very comfortable because interacting with so many people, I've gained that confidence to talk about my personal experiences.
And in the beginning, we had male volunteers very reluctant to join our cause. But once we started conducting activities, now more than, I would say about 50% of our volunteers are male. And it's amazing to see that. So that incident I spoke about boys in my class seeing a pad in my bag and laughing at me. Those same boys came up to me and apologized. And that was the most moving thing, and that made it all worth it.
Let's hear it for Amity Noida. Thank you, team. Before we move on, let's welcome Ms. Moina Dar, Director Academics, Projects and International Projects, Amity International Schools and Amity Global Schools. Let's give it for Ms. Moina Dar. Amity International Schools, you sure can clap much better than this. We also have with us Miss Aarti Chopra, Principal, Amity International School, Gurugram, Sector 46. Let's hear it for Miss Aarti Chopra. Please put your hands together for Miss Anshu Arora, Principal, Amity Sector 43. We also have amidst us Miss Sangeeta Sethi, Coordinator, Amity Sector 43. And now we shall get back to our presentations.
जो सांझ ख्वाब देखते थे नैना बिछड़ के आज रो दिए हैं यूं नैना जो मिल के रात जागते थे नैना शहर में
The operation was successful.
जुदा
But it took me 5 years to find an idol.
थी ये कसम मिलके चलेंगे हरदम अब बांटते हैं ये गम भीगे नैना जो खिड़कियों से झांकते
I wish it wasn't too late.
घुटन में बंद हो गए
39 million people across the world are blind. 246 million have low vision. Sad, isn't it? But you know what's worse? 75% of these cases can be treated. And yet, they are not. Simply because we lack awareness. We lack awareness to take care of our eyes. We lack awareness to take the plunge and be an eye donor. But there was someone who took the plunge. We have on stage the youth power team of Amity Saket. Let's give it up for team leader Abhiniti Gupta and her team members Niveda Yadav, Parth Kullar and Stuti Kakkar. Amity Saket, everyone.
About 285 million people have a low vision. 39 million are blind and 246 million have a low vision.
90% of the blind population lives in developing countries. There are 2 million blind students in India and only 5% of them receive any education.
India currently has around 12 million blind people against 39 million globally. 1 out of every 3 blind people in the world lives in India. But the silver lining behind this tragic situation is that up to 80% of the blindness is curable or preventable.
And so, we determined to change this.
We care about our health, but we often forget eye care. We spend hours and hours in front of TV, all mobile. We wear excessive eye makeup and forget to remove it before going to sleep. And so, in our campaign, we determined to change this.
Have you ever volunteered to help a blind person on the road or in the metro? Have you ever wondered what are the problems faced by the visually impaired while they only know how to read Braille? No!
Many visually impaired students shared with us the problems they face to find a scribe. The scribes are often of a much smaller class and do not understand the subject. They either leave the candidate midway or do not write the paper properly. And so, we, along with our volunteers, scribed for many such students and also devised user-friendly apps for the same.
We devised 2 apps to aid the visually impaired. Our Scribe Me app connects the visually impaired to a volunteer who is willing to help and is in proximity. Our app works just like Uber. Just like you call a cab, one can call a volunteer at your location. Unlike other apps which do not take time zones into consideration while connecting the blind to the volunteer, our app matches users in real time according to their time availability. The app currently has 102 active users.
Our iHear app converts images and text to audio. If one clicks a picture, the app reads out what is depicted in the picture. Now, a major limitation of other apps based on these lines was that they only function in English or in foreign languages and only convert the text on screen to the audio. Whereas our app has 190 languages uploaded for conversion of text as well as images to audio. The app has more than 350 users.
Have you ever looked, we always notice the brand of eye makeup,
But have you ever looked at its contents? Have you ever thought how excessive use of eye makeup can be detrimental for our eyes?
No. Realizing the harm excessive eye makeup poses on our eyes, we came up with our own eye gel under the guidance of a renowned cosmetologist, Dr. Nivedita Mahandru, comprising of aloe vera gel, almond oil, coconut oil, carrot seed oil, and rose oil. This gel has a soothing effect on our eyes. It prevents dark circles, reduces redness and itchiness, and relieves eyes of the strain.
We are proud to tell you that both the apps and the eye gel have been recognized by the government and recommended for further pursuance and funding by the Incubation Center under MSME. This funding will help us continue the development and propagation of our innovations even in future.
We do visit the blind school, but do we really empathize and try to understand the problems faced by them? No.
After paying several visits to blind school and understanding the challenges faced by the student there, we tried to extend our help and support whenever we could. We oversaw the condition of blind school and how the students were trained to be independent by teaching them computer, tailoring, and many other vocations. We recorded audiobooks for several subjects, including English, computer science, etc. We recorded 20 audiobooks and are still continuing to do so. We are also proud to mention that our proposal to incorporate Braille as a subject of work experience has been accepted by the school.
Do we ever wonder the impact of what we eat on our health and on our eyes? Do we ever pay attention to eye exercises as our eyes become dry after hours and hours of sitting in front of the television and using our mobile phones? No.
With our initiative, the school incorporated eye exercises and yoga for eyes for all the students. We also replaced unhealthy and oily food items in the canteen, which lead to macular degeneration in the eyes, with healthy snacks of idli and sambar. We decided one day of the week to be dedicated to eye-healthy food, and so the whole school brings eye-nutritious food every Tuesday.
Have you ever paid a visit to optometrist or optician for a regular eye checkup? Have you ever asked your helpers or drivers whether they take care of their eyes?
No. All school transport staff, including school bus drivers and all school helpers, were checked for proper vision and color blindness in an eye checkup camp organized by us in the school. Moreover, we also organized an eye checkup camp and issued free spectacles for the students of the Purv Middle School, Sahibabad, in collaboration with a team of AIMS doctors and NGO Vision Spring.
Another endeavor in the field of technology is the lens for the colorblind. Colorblind children are enabled to see three major colors: red, green, and blue. After wearing these lenses, they will be able to see red and blue colors better. This idea has been taken up as a potential project by the Atal Tinkering Laboratories, a scheme initiated by Niti Aayog to promote technological developments by students.
Did you know 2 donated eyes can save 6 lives? Have you ever thought of donating your eyes so that they could see even after you die?
No. We got more than 90 eye donation forms that were submitted at the AIMS. Moreover, our online petition for presumed consent of organ donation has more than 150 followers.
Change will not come if we wait for some other people or some other time. We are the ones we have been waiting for.
Are we the change?
Yes, we are.
So, hello guys. My name is Priyansh. I'm with the youth party team of Amity International School, Saket. And our topic, as you know, is eye care for eye care. But guess what? Indians don't care about eye care. Example देता हूँ. Foreign में कोई अपनी मम्मी के पास आता है, Mom, my eye is twitching. तो उसकी माँ कहेगी, ओ टॉमी डार्लिंग, लेट्स गो सी एन ऑप्टोमेट्रिस्ट. इंडिया में ऐसा नहीं होता. इंडिया में आप जाओ अपनी माँ के पास, माँ मेरी आंख फड़फड़ आ रही है, तो माँ कहेगी बैठे रह, बेटा पैसे आने वाले हैं. सो इट सक्स हैविंग अ लेजी आई इन इंडिया. लेजी आई पता है आपको? किसी को पता है? It's when one of your eyes is weak, another one is strong. एक यहाँ देख रही है, दूसरी वहाँ देख रही है. So मुझे कंडीशन थी बचपन में, फॉरेन में जाते हो तो वहाँ पे कैसे ट्रीट करवाएंगे? They will give you naturopathy, they will give you medicines. मुझे इंडिया में पता है क्या मिला? मुझे मिला पट्टा. To wear on my strong eye in the hopes कि मेरी weak eye काम करने लग जाए. So मैं क्लास में घुसता था ये पट्टा पहन के. People would ask me, hey, what's wrong with your eye? I'm like, this is the one that works. The the problem is with my parents and how Indians treat their problems. एक और एग्जाम्पल तो बनता है, मेरे को बचपन में कंजंक्टिवाइटिस हुआ. मेरी मॉम को एक ने कहा इसे गाजर का जूस दो, एक ने कहा इसे करेले का जूस दो. मेरी मॉम ने मॉकटेल बना दी. 3 दिन बाद मेरा पेट भी खराब हुआ, वो भी नोट कर लो. So people in the crowd who wear spectacles, give me a cheer. अंधा क्राउड है यार. So एक बार मेरे में गट्स आए अपने एक फ्रेंड को बोलने के लिए, hey you would look much better if we don't wear spectacles. She was like, yeah यार, you would also look much better if I don't wear spectacles. So आप शादी में जाते हो, फंक्शंस में जाते हो, वहाँ पे लड़कियों ने मेकअप लगा रखा होता है, आईलाइनर लगा रखा होता है. वो आईलाइनर नॉर्मल आईलाइनर तो होता नहीं है. यहाँ पे ट्यूलिप्स बना रखे हैं, यहाँ पे टिक टाक टो खेल रखे, और यहाँ पे तो रेनबो बना रखा है यार. So फंक्शन एंड होने तक वो स्मजअप कर लेती हैं, आईलाइनर चले जाता है, आंख में आंख हो जाती है लाल. लड़कों को वार्निंग है, उस टाइम पे लड़कियों से दूर रहें. उस टाइम पे वो हो रखी होती है स्त्री, कुछ भी कर सकती है. सुलोचना सुनैना स्ट्रेट टू पूतना, बेटा टाइम नहीं लगता इन्हें. बट ऑन अ सीरियस नोट गाइस, प्लीज टेक केयर ऑफ योर आईज. आप चाहते हैं आपकी टांगे घूम जाए, स्त्री बन जाए आप. Okay, that's it from my side. Thank you so much.
Moving on to our question and answer session.
Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you,
I
ma'am.
just want to ask a very short question. Do you think that we should have compulsory donation of our eyes because there's so little awareness in our country? And do you think that's a good thing, a good way to go?
Yes, ma'am. We completely support this presumed consent for eye donation. Even in foreign countries, they follow the opt-out system of organ donation. That means that everyone is an organ donor unless they categorically state to abstain from donating eyes. Whereas in India, it is the opt-in system wherein we have to volunteer to donate our organs. Therefore, we discussed the same with Dr. Dr. Rajesh Sinha at AIMS, and we started an online petition on change.org for adoption of presumed consent for organ donation in India, and the petition is gaining followers day by day. We have more than 150 supporters now.
As we just got to know that in some cases, 2 eyes can save 6 lives. So ma'am, it would be a pretty big thing if everyone donates their eyes. So it would be a pretty good thing if everyone in the world can see this beautiful nature and the environment that we have.
Do you think that public spaces are friendly for people who have blindness? If not, since you've done such a meticulous project, what do you recommend the government should do? And by public spaces, I mean railway stations and airports, and traffic signals.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you for the question, ma'am. For making blind-friendly, visually impaired-friendly public spaces, in a lot of historical monuments, there are braille boards which are there, like in Agra, in Taj Mahal. A lot of places lack that. So the government should incorporate braille reading text labs over there. Also, a Youth Party member went to Japan and he saw over there that almost every public space has braille, so that it becomes friendly for the visually impaired. So according to us, that should be incorporated in India also.
Ma'am, furthermore, like we have a section for wheelchair, in Japan I saw that various spaces had a special place for visually challenged people as well. So one of the volunteer, if for example I went to a museum, there was a blind person over there. He was held by a member of the staff over there who guided him throughout the museum. So ma'am, that is a pretty good thing. So those centers could be installed as well.
Furthermore, ma'am, there are many places which don't have braille, and to remove that we have created an app, Scribe Me app, which actually helps a blind person to click a picture of the board, and that can translate it into audio, and so that even if a blind person doesn't have a braille there, it can click the picture of the board and it can read it out for him.
So instead of making blind people dependent on a volunteer, we want to make the visually impaired independent through our apps, so that they don't need to rely on anyone else.
All right, thank you, Team Saket.
Thank you, team, for being so visionary, and I'm super proud of your spirit of doing this. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I just want to ask that in your project, I have seen your great outreach to people up to the age group of 30, 40, 45. Have we done something with senior citizens, because their eye is something they have actually need to take care of and to work on, and there are many things like they don't wear specs. So what you have done with senior citizens? I just
So, ma'am, we'd visited AIMS and Batra several times. So, ma'am, during our interactions, we also interacted with various elderly people. We got to know about what major problems they face. So, ma'am, there was one uncle who was sitting in the corridor, and we had an appointment scheduled with Dr. Rajesh Sinha. So, while we were going there, we were waiting outside. So, we had a word with him. He said that he'd been coming to the hospital from the past few days, and he was requesting for a surgery, or maybe if some doctor can look to him. So, ma'am, but he was saying that he wasn't getting an appointment. So, as we already had our appointment scheduled, so we took him with us. So, over there, we helped him get his cataract surgery done finally. So, ma'am, after that, he gave us his blessings also. Ma'am, furthermore, we also conducted an eye
Thank you,
checkup
team.
camp.
We are running out of time. Thank you, Team Saket. Let's hear it for Amity Saket.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Saket. You're a good cheerleading team. Before we move on, let's put our hands together for Ms. Divya Chauhan, Chairperson, Amity School of Fine Arts and Amity School of Performing Arts. Amity Schools, if Chairperson ma'am was here, she would have been very disappointed with the way you guys are clapping. We also have amidst us Dr. Dipanvita Bhattacharya, CIE Coordinator, Amity Global School, Noida. Let's welcome Mr. A.P. Singh, Director, Amity School of Insurance and Banking. Let's welcome Mr. B.S. Bisht, Professor, ASIBAS. Let's welcome with a huge round of applause Lieutenant General Bhargava, Group Deputy Vice Chancellor, Amity University. We also have with us Ms. Ranjana Bhatia, Head of Institution, Amity Institute of Psychology and Allied Sciences. Let's welcome with a warm round of applause Ms. Amita Mohan, Principal, Amity Pushp Vihar. We also have amidst us Ms. Divya Bhatia, Principal, Amity Saket. We also have with us Dr. Aditya Tomar, Deputy Additional Director, Amity Law School. Let's welcome Professor J.K. Sharma, Director, ASB. Keep the applause going, schools. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for taking out your valuable time and gracing the occasion. Before we move on, I'd like to request our chief guest for the day, Ms. Maha Siddiqui, to please join us on stage and share with us a few words. Let's welcome her with a huge round of applause, everyone.
Hi, you guys are brilliant. I'm floored at the manner in which you all have chosen such sensitive subjects, and you've so brilliantly put that out today. And I'm not here to sermonize really, because I think your teachers and you all yourself are doing such a fabulous job. And I must take this opportunity really to applaud the teachers. I think it is their nurturing and the manner in which they have encouraged the children to take up such difficult topics and to break it down so lucidly for us here on the stage. It's simply amazing. So the thought that I want to leave you with today is that while we are all in school and our teachers encourage us, our parents encourage us to think not just about ourselves but about the society at large, we tend to do it. We think, we read, we interact, discuss, and simply by the virtue of the fact that we have time at our hand and we have friends, so we end up discussing issues, we end up thinking about a lot of issues that over a period of time we forget about. And that is because as we enter our youth, we become more self-centered. I mean, that is my perception. I'm perhaps, or at least I would like to think I'm out of that phase. Yes, I'm no longer young, so I do know that that is a phase, late teens, 20s, early 30s, when all we are thinking about is ourselves, how to take our career forward, how to take our lives forward. I think as you enter that stage, you must remember that the learnings that you have from your school, and especially what I've seen today, is something that you must keep nurturing. That is something that you must always remember, you mustn't forget. Even when you're aspiring to become probably the CEO of a company, you must remember that at a certain stage in your professional and personal life, you will realize that it's not just your values, it's not just what you have learned that are taking you forward, but it's the society at large that can hold you back as well. If a society is not conducive, for instance, as one group put up a performance here on menstruation, if a society is not aware of these issues, you know, women can be held back. Women have been held back in our society because of a lot of issues. And even though women have been capable all along, they have not progressed professionally in a lot of spheres. And I think that is something that we must remember very clearly. It's not just our personal ability to do things, but it's also how the society, how the world around you looks at issues. And that is the change that you have to bring about. That is why constant engagement is necessary. The understanding of right from wrong is important, and also a discussion where you, on issues you believe that you need to change and mold the society in a manner in which they should be thinking. You should continue to do that through your youth as well. And I'll leave you with two small examples here, because you all are all young people. You know, you all are technology natives, not like us who have been, who have entered technology when we were much older. So there are two cases. I don't know if you remember one case, one instance where a young girl who had accused a boy at a red light of making indecent gestures at her and had put it on social media. It had gone viral. She lodged a case, and the case went on for some years. But there was a recent report that suggested that that girl did not turn up for the case, which had been on for about 3 years, because she had gone abroad to study. And later it also, appeared during a police investigation that perhaps it was a misunderstanding, that he wasn't really making those indecent gestures at her. And, it ultimately ended up perhaps in some sense jeopardizing the career, the growth of that boy who is still struggling with the case. And the girl probably at that moment thought that that was the right thing to do, but then she should have taken that entire case forward, which she did not. Now I want to compare this to a recent case which happened yesterday. I don't know if you all have seen that clip of I think 4 young girls who were sitting in a restaurant in Gurugram. They have used social media to, it was not just a personal thing. It was an issue on which they wanted to tell the society that here are people who are okay with rape culture. And look at the manner in which those girls have used social media. They, in that clip, they are heard saying that if you apologize to us, we will let you go. You change your view here and now. You apologize to us, we will not make this public. When the lady did not relent, they put it out in public. They have used social media, in my perception, much more responsibly than the other girl. And I think that is the distinction that you have to draw. That there are many tools you will have as you progress, grow up, as technology improves. But you must remember what you have learned in school, what your parents have taught you, right from wrong. And I think that will take care of everything in life. So I'm open to questions if there are any.
I believe we have had a lot of questions in the audience. Do we have any questions? Do we have any questions? Please raise your hands. There's one hand there.
Okay.
Can we have the mic over there? Kids, please be seated in your position. The mics will reach you. Please go ahead, ask your question.
Ma'am, I would like to ask, fake news is a threat to responsible journalism. As a journalist, what is media trying to do to restore the faith of people? Fake news is a threat to responsible journalism.
Absolutely, yes. Fake
as-
news is a threat to the society, not just to journalism. Because fake news goes viral in no time. And it's spread on, social media like WhatsApp, which is much more used in India than perhaps many other means of social media. So fake news should not only be seen in the context of journalism. Yes, of course, it's a huge threat to journalism, but it's disservice, it's a threat to society. We have seen fake news spreading violence and hatred amongst people. I think it's the job not just of a journalist. Of course, it's the primary responsibility of a journalist to call out fake news. There are many fora now. People are being trained to identify fake news from right news. We are also taught how to look at images and to figure out whether these are present images, these are images of the right context in which that article has been published. While journalists are being trained, and as you all know, technology is growing at a very fast pace, for humans to keep pace with that, for everybody who's not even very technologically savvy, to keep pace with that is difficult. But journalism is making that effort. I would urge everybody else to make an effort too, to see, sometimes when you see a news report, I think everybody has a sixth sense where you can figure out whether this seems correct or is there something that could be wrong with it. If you feel there is something wrong with it, then the same technology that is bringing you the news also has given you the power to check whether that news is correct or not. And you should not forward any news that you even slightly feel falls in the realms of fake news. You should do your cross-checking too, and perhaps wait to forward that news to somebody else before you can hear from a credible journalist that whether this news is correct or not.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, my question is, how has media and journalism evolved in the past few decades, especially in terms of its impact, values, and outreach?
All right. So I think, I'll break it down. Impact of media, I think, has always been there. It may have changed because of the mode in which people are consuming that news. So if you talk about some decades back, when there wasn't so much of proliferation of private news channels, people were largely dependent on newspapers and the public broadcaster, that was Doordarshan News. That was their scope of information, really. And Doordarshan has without a doubt great penetration. Every urban to rural house has Doordarshan. The impact is enormous in the fact that, if I can give you an example, say for instance of an issue, I can't think of something just off my head, but any small incident that takes place, say in a rural village, and which the media is able to focus on, it immediately captures the attention of the nation. So the impact undoubtedly remains there. The modes have changed, and therefore there are a lot of people out there in the public who also believe that because they have a mobile phone in their hands, they can make a video, click a picture, they can become a journalist and propagate news. But that's not what news is. The journalists are doing a particular job because they are trained to do that job. They are trained to sift information which is necessary to be put out. And that is why the role of a journalist, though many used to fear that with the proliferation of social media might diminish, on the contrary, it has become even more important. Because when there is so much of information out there, you need somebody to be able to tell you whether this actually is even news or not, or it's just fake information floating around. So, because of the change in the media, the manner in which we are consuming news, the mode has changed, and therefore the manner in which we work has also changed. But the impact of mainstream media is there. Of course, social media, we are now trying to put our stories out there as well because of the sheer reach, as well as the fact that a lot of youngsters like you are more on social media.
Ma'am, what do you think are the key challenges a reporter faces in this era of technology and social media where everything can be questioned or reprimanded?
I think it works both ways. It's great that a reporter is questioned. Why not? I mean, we are out there to answer your questions. If there is anything that you feel that, there are journalists with biases or prejudices, they should be called out as well. Challenges, as I just pointed out, with social media, today a lot of people are of the belief that they themselves are journalists because they can make a video and put it on social media. That is in itself is a challenge for journalists, because those people are not journalists, even though they, we have given them a term citizen journalists, but citizen journalism was done under the guidance of a trained journalist who was able to guide a citizen to bring their story forward in a manner that it's best consumed. However, now with a lot of people putting out videos, pictures, a lot of a journalist's time goes in verifying those, in being able to ascertain whether that stuff is correct or not. A lot of journalists have fallen prey to themselves to fake news. And as social media is evolving, as I pointed out, even we are learning. We may make mistakes, we are also learning in the process, but of course, credibility for a journalist is most important, so we try to keep that intact.
As a journalist, how do you manage to keep bias out of your stories? There are often topics which about which you're really passionate about, so how do you manage to keep your personal views and opinions out of the story?
Sure. So I have always believed that it's virtually impossible for a human being to not be biased, especially about certain subjects. For instance, in my case, I might have my biases with regards to women-related issues. I might not be able to sometimes see it from the other perspective, but only my own, and I may presume that that is the right perspective because I'm a woman, I know best about a woman's issues. I think those biases, if you read a piece or if you watch a piece, are very evident. The struggle that a journalist has is to consciously cut out those biases. And I think that happens when you work in a team, where our stories, our reports, there is a process. I mean, I don't write a piece and it just gets published, or I don't do a story and it just goes on air. There are at least a couple of layers. Somebody above me is going through my story before it goes on air. And when there is teamwork, in fact, in television, there will be a producer, there will be a video editor, there will be a camera person shooting. So, because there are so many layers involved, we hope that those biases are set aside, because everybody will be bringing their little bit of thought in their own way, and those biases will subside. But yes, I do agree that as you grow as a journalist, and you will observe it yourself, that you struggle to make a conscious effort to keep your own personal biases out of a report.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Sorry.
Ma'am, how has your journey been as a reporter?
Can you please stand up and raise your hand?
Ma'am.
Oh, there, yeah.
Ma'am, how has your journey been as a reporter, and how were you inspired by the vision of the society after becoming a reporter?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you properly, but are you saying how do I stay inspired? Was that your
how
question?
was your journey as a reporter?
Okay, how was my journey as a reporter? So I started off from Times of India Online, where I was on the desk. I just graduated from IIMC, and then I moved on to Doordarshan. That was quite a good learning experience, in the sense that even though it's a public broadcast and there is a very standard way in which they operate, but there were a lot of people who were willing to mentor you. That mentoring, I think, over a period of time, what I've seen in the industry has petered off. People don't make that kind of an effort to mentor youngsters in the field of journalism. But I was lucky. I was lucky that I was mentored, and I was immediately given a lot of very difficult assignments. Some of international related news. I was asked to cover elections. I was sent to, like a state like Jharkhand, for 1.5 months. I would just be there in villages, in some cities in Jharkhand, or I would be sent off to Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh. I think that journey at that point, I enjoyed it. I was young. It was difficult, but nonetheless, it was necessary because that has grounded me as a reporter. I know the struggles of a reporter. I know how difficult it is to get a story from the ground, how difficult it can be as a woman journalist also, if I can, put it that way. So I think in some sense I was lucky because I was exposed to a lot of different assignments in my first few years because I was not confined to a particular beat. Whatever came, in Doordarshan they had the system where they could give you just about any assignment. As I grew in the profession, of course, I chose certain beats and I started working on them. So both had an advantage. First, in my formative years as a journalist, I had exposure to many assignments and stories. As I grew in the profession, I could specialize in particular areas. So I think largely my journey has been, how should I put it, enjoyable.
And ma'am, how has your journey changed your perspective of
We're
the
running out of time. I'm so sorry. We'll have to make that the last question. But we can give her a huge round of applause for sharing so much with us.
Thank you.
Before we move on, let's welcome with a huge round of applause Ms. Pooja Chauhan, Vice Chairperson, Amity Humanity Foundation. Amity International Schools, that's not how we clap. We also have amidst us Renu Singh, Principal, Amity Noida. And with this, we shall move on to our presentations.
कौन बोला कंजर्वेशन हो पाएगा? कौन बोला अपना टाइम आएगा, उठ जा फॉसिल फ्यूल से दूर जा अब तलाश में, उरू से खुर जाने की सूरज भी सर उठाएगा, आएगा अपना टाइम आएगा।
इतना ज्यादा एनर्जी एफिशिएंट तुझे ना मिल पाएगा, है सबका फेवरेट हर घर में तू ये पाएगा, सूरज की किरणों से अब तू खाना बनाएगा, पॉल्यूशन होगा कम इंडिया को हरा बनाएगा, सौर से उरूज देश को प्रगति दिलवाएगा। क्यों? क्योंकि रिन्यूएबल टाइम आएगा, तू कोयला लेकर आया था अब सूरज लेकर जाएगा, रिन्यूएबल टाइम आएगा, रिन्यूएबल टाइम आएगा, रिन्यूएबल टाइम आएगा, तू कोयला लेकर आया था अब सूरज लेकर जाएगा।
Save energy. How many times have we heard this? How many times have you read about it in newspapers, listened to it in public interest commercials, and yet we want our AC to be switched on even before we reach our homes. After all, बहुत गर्मी है. We will still not use public transport because Rajiv Chowk की भीड़ कोई बर्दाश्त नहीं कर सकता. But then there is one team that worked throughout the year for saving energy, the Youth Power team of Amity Gurugram 46. Let's give it up for Ansh Dev Singh, Chinmay Sahai, Mugdha Jain and Akarshi Agarwal. Amity 46.
This is a story about darkness. Darkness that engulfed countless lives.
But this is also the story about light. Light that changed the way.
This is the story from darkness to light. This is the story of Urja.
Over 200 million people in India alone lack basic electricity.
Yet, 3 billion units of electricity were wasted last year in India.
We had a first-hand experience of this disparity when we visited senior secondary school in Mubarakpur village in Himachal Pradesh, wherein we were daunted to see that the students studied under darkness.
The same situation was present in Fazalpur village in Gurgaon, wherein the students couldn't study in their unelectrified shanties. We told you, this is a story about darkness.
But this is also the story about light. जिस राह पर हम चल दिए अब मुड़ के ना जाएंगे, ऊर्जा की किरण से देश देश में प्रगति दिलवाएंगे. We wanted to understand the problem further. Thus, we went to visit the Union Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Harshvardhan. We also got the opportunity to meet Mr. Chandrasekhar Khare, the administrator of Hooda.
we were assisted by the National Institute of Solar Energy and Luminous, who highlighted how only 2% of our entire electricity came from solar energy.
But as we told you, this was going to be a really dark story. While continuing with our campaign, we saw that some of you were leaving fans open in the classroom. Some were not carpooling. Each of these acts, though small, had a direct impact on our environment, and thus darkness prevailed.
But this is also the story of light. अंधकार की छाया को अब रोकने नहीं देंगे, ऊर्जा के प्रकाश से देश को प्रगति दिलवाएंगे.
It was now time to shed some light on the need to conserve electricity, and hence we organized over 100 in-school activities ranging from lantern making to Shark Tank and even a rally organized in Sector 46 Gurgaon's market consisting of over 150 students.
Now what was actually good to see was that the smallest of activities, such as creating checklists to creating an Urja app, created a lasting impact in the minds of 4,000 Amityans.
Now naturally our next step was to reach to the masses. We, working alongside with the Bureau of Energy Efficiency, were invited to the statewide Haryana Garima Awards, where we reached another 2,000 people.
But saving energy alone was not enough. 3.9 billion units were still needed to suffice our daily needs.
Yet, people still made use of chulhas that harm their health and our environment. As we told you, this was going to be one hell of a dark story.
But this darkness was then removed by solar energy. सौर ऊर्जा से बिजली बनाएंगे, टीम ऊर्जा आगे बढ़ते जाएंगे.
We conducted activities with our Amitasha students, our school Didis, and collaborated with the Burley Institute of Women to popularize the use of solar cookers. In fact, we were so successful in our approach that we have replaced the microwaves in our school's teacher staff room to solar cookers.
On Diwali, we visited Happy Homes Public School in Gurgaon, wherein we saw that the humble school did not have access to electricity.
And so we briefed the 200 students over there on sustainable development and created a clean energy zone consisting of solar lamps and solar cookers there in that very school.
Now, in order to make their voices heard, we started a Ye Diwali Urja Wali campaign, through which we reached thousands of people through social media. We further took our cause to 2 lakh people through our interview that was aired on 94.3 Radio 1.
But darkness does not give up so easily either. While we were promoting the use of renewable sources of energy and energy conservation, we realized that there was still a void between the demand and the supply, a void that was likely to bring darkness.
But even light doesn't give up that easy. जीत की खातिर बस जुनून चाहिए, जिसमें उबाल हो ऐसा खून चाहिए. ये आसमां भी आएगा जमीन पर, बस इरादों में जीत की गूंज चाहिए. And thus we created an Urja R&D cell which gives students the opportunity to research and create innovations.
We created Urja Kiran, a DIY solar lamp that was made from old and recycled parts of lamp. We created a piezoelectric tile that generated electricity when one walked on it. Another innovation was a prototype of a cleanliness robot, which was again made from recycled parts.
There was a time when darkness smiled, for it saw those who struggled in the dark.
At this point of time, Team Urja led from darkness to light.
Urja that ignited hope and dispelled darkness. So was the case in the village Mubarakpur, where our cause initially started.
And dear audience, you'll be pleased to know that that very school in Mubarakpur, we along with LiveGuard provided that school of 60 students with solar panels and electricity that affected and helped 100 people in Mubarakpur, and we gave them electricity, a change that will be permanent.
We even convinced Delhi Food Code, a Delhi NCR food chain, to stop the use of plastics, thus cutting down on 3.4 megajoules of energy used in manufacturing plastics, which significantly adds to our carbon footprint.
Over 200 activities conducted.
1,100 lives changed.
Over 3 lakh people reached.
And we have just started with the endeavor, a change made forever.
And so this became a story from darkness to light.
रोशनी की कीमत जानो,
नहीं करो ये मनमानी,
अपनाओ अक्षय ऊर्जा,
लिखो ऊर्जा से उरुज की कहानी,
लिखो ऊर्जा से उरुज की कहानी.
Thank you.
नमस्कार, आकाशवाणी में आपका स्वागत है. अब आप मुख्य समाचार सुनिए. भारतीय वैज्ञानिक अंतरिक्ष में मंगलयान भेजने में बेहद कामयाब रहे. प्रधानमंत्री जी का कहना है
हमारे
कि
देश के
इसरो
वैज्ञानिक
इतिहास रचते
अंतरिक्ष
हैं।
तक पहुंच
भारतीय
गए,
वैज्ञानिकों
लेकिन हमारे
को
गांव में
पूरे
तो
देश की ओर से
आज भी अंधेरा है।
आशा करो बेटी, एक दिन यहाँ पर भी बिजली जरूर आएगी।
तूफानों को चीर के मंजिलों को छीन ले, आशाएं ले दिल की, उम्मीदें हंसे दिल की, अब मुश्किल नहीं कुछ भी, नहीं कुछ भी।
प्रकृति ने मनुष्य के लिए 5 तत्वों की व्यवस्था की और मनुष्य उसी प्रकृति से दूर होता गया। हे मनुष्य, आज भी सौर ऊर्जा, हवा और पानी हमारे साथ है और ऊर्जा उत्पन्न कर रहे हैं। तो आइए अक्षय ऊर्जा के साथ नव जागरण के नए युग का स्वागत कीजिए। वेलकम टू द न्यू एज।
सूरज की चमकती तेज किरण सर सर बहती जाती है पवन झर झर नदियाँ।
सुन हम सब से ये कहती है, घर घर को जब प्रकाश मिले,
आंगन आंगन जब रोशनी हो, हर गांव नगर में बिजली हो, तो सुन मानो तो हमसे कभी ना दूर जा, हम देंगे अक्षय ऊर्जा।
Can we have the first question, please?
Congratulations. I want to ask that we have been talking about a journey from darkness to light. What about the sector and the regions which are already using exploiting the electricity which is providing to them, and what do you think about it, like changing them and bringing them to the renewable source of energy and making them use the solar panels?
Ma'am, in terms of that, another achievement of ours was that the sector that actually has electricity, that is exploiting it. That being, one of these are the food industries. Now, when we use plastics, ma'am, for each and every plastic bottle, you use approximately 1 unit of energy. So we thought that these sectors need to be stopped. They need to be halted, and that was our achievement with DFC. The DFC, what we did with the DFC was that we approached them and we actually bid them and we told them to stop using plastics, and now throughout Delhi NCR, wherever they have their chains, they've completely stopped using plastics, ma'am. They now serve in metal containers.
Again, ma'am, taking a step towards the renewable energy that you mentioned.
Yes. And have you faced any challenges while installing this convenient and the renewable source of energy in the villages, because it's not too cost friendly? It's very costly to install solar panels, to use solar cookers, and it can be used only in daytime. So can you just share any of the challenge while convincing people to subscribe to these means of energy?
Yes, ma'am. As you mentioned, our biggest challenge was convincing these people to, first of all, switch to renewable resources. As the first thing that they did not realize was, since we already have a generator, why should we switch? And the other challenge that we faced was what you said, the cost effectiveness. But here we were lucky, since we had the Bureau of Energy Efficiency, Luminous with us, and even the minister who helped us put these into places. So we had a strong story, we had a firm plan of action, so that is what helped us.
Congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Do we have any other question for the team?
You guys mentioned that you saw that people still use chulas. They're supposed to get gas from the government, right? There's a Ujjwala Yojana. Did you try and bring one of the flaws to the notice of the government?
Ma'am, when it comes to the government schemes, the people that we interacted with who were using chulas didn't really have an identity in terms of Aadhaar card and were not connected to the bureaucracy of the nation.
Also, ma'am, another point is the government scheme consists, it says lines as, we will provide energy. We are not criticizing the government. It is a fact. We will provide energy to say 3% or 5%. Now, we need to realize that when the problem is of such big magnitude, 3% or 5% does not constitute of anything. That is where we stepped in. People who did not have access to those chulas, that is where we stepped in and provided them more renewable ways.
And in fact, that is why we promoted solar cooking and solar cookbooks that were uploaded on Amazon for the urban population. We even took their message to the to various bureaucrats that we met, be it DC of Gurgaon, that is Mr. Mohammed Shaheen, or the Haryana Urban Development Authority. So that's how we took their voice further.
And that is where we saw the loophole that you mentioned.
Thank you, Team 46. Let's
Thank you
hear
so
it
much.
for
Thank you so much.
AIS Gurgaon 46. We have amidst us Dr. Mrs. Amita Chauhan, Chairperson, Amity Group of Schools. Let's welcome her with a huge round of applause. Amity International Schools, can we clap better? And welcome, ma'am. I request everyone to settle down. Thank you, ma'am, for taking out your valuable time and gracing the occasion. Youth Power is the brainchild of Dr. Mrs. Amita Chauhan. It was her aim to nurture ethical leaders that led us to the quest of a leader who was an embodiment of change. So if we are here today celebrating the 11th year of Youth Power, it is because of only one person, Chairperson ma'am, and I think we need to give her a huge, huge round of applause. Amity Schools, you're students of a school where the chairperson teaches you to clap loudly. That is the number of people across the world suffering from malnourishment. 2.6 billion children. That is the number of deaths every year due to malnourishment. And so, taking up this cause in the crusade of change was inevitable. Let's put our hands together for Team Push Bihar, Aman Singh, Daksh Jalani, Keshav Gupta and Roshni Srivastav. Let's hear it for Amity Push Bihar.
795 million people starving due to undernutrition. A loss of 3 million lives a year.
About 36 million Indian women undernourished right from childhood itself.
800 million people on the brink of starvation.
When it could just take ₹16 a day to give a child all the vitamins and nutrients that he or she needs to grow healthy, why is it that each and every year more than 25 million children died due to malnutrition.
And it is because of these perturbing facts that we, under the aegis of our venerable chairperson ma'am and respected founder president sir, started Team Annapurna, Nourish to Flourish, to combat malnutrition.
Malnutrition is as common in poverty as in wealth. One because of the lack of food and the other because of the lack of knowledge of food.
But then why did we choose to combat malnutrition from the privileged environment that we did?
It was because we may believe that malnutrition only affects the poor and the impoverished. But the activities that we conducted, the research that we did, it showed us that today, the privileged section of the society is much more prone to malnutrition because of our obliviousness towards its causes.
Don't you believe us? How many people you know out there who are suffering from nutrient deficiency? How many people you know who are anemic? And how many people you know out there who want to donate blood but cannot?
Our research ring presented us with some startling facts. About 51% of Indian women aged between 15 to 49 years are in fact anemic. 1 out of 5 Indian women are underweight. And the most shocking of all was 70% of the people who are suffering from micronutrient and other deficiencies are in fact from the urban strata of the society.
More than 98.4% of the people that we surveyed did not even know the various dimensions of malnutrition.
Our social experiments, on the other hand, pointed towards the fact that even today, 82% of all people would choose a sickly thin child over a grossly obese one when asked who amongst the two would be more prone to malnutrition.
Throughout our campaign, the first thing that we propagated was the correct meaning and definition of malnutrition. After all, how can we fight an unknown enemy from the dark?
Malnutrition isn't just a lack of food. It's a lack of both quality as well as the correct quantity. The word mal means bad in French, and yet we are consuming the bad nutrition.
With a plethora of activities conducted, a number of slums spanned. Team Annapurna aimed at creating awareness while simultaneously minimizing the effects of malnutrition by arranging workshops with domestic helpers to awareness drives in various localities.
Children in our own school were presented with fun and engaging activities that helped them correlate malnutrition's evils with their day-to-day pop culture happenings.
The Ghost Rider of malnutrition aimed at bringing back the Ghost Rider through proper nutrition.
The Magic Potter taught our juniors that every living organism, from a plant to a human being, requires nourishment to flourish.
Adolescents and adults, on the other hand, were educated about our cause in much more informative ways.
We conducted scientific tests to reveal the micronutrients present in different food items.
We employed the method of free recall to highlight the hindrance that was posed to cognitive memory and brain development, and much more.
However, the next question that arises in one's mind is that even if we know what malnutrition truly is, how do we work towards our well-being?
That is when we brought out the scales and levels.
The body mass index, or the BMI level, was a scale that was used to determine the body fat in an individual and then know if they are underweight, overweight or obese. Parents, teachers, students and our helpers alike were taught how to calculate their BMI in various methods, from the empirical one to the metric formula.
The calorie requirement level tells us about the quality and the quantity of food that one must intake for better nutrition.
Employing all these methods, we prepared diet charts for more than 75% of our domestic helpers, helped more than 85% of the people that we've surveyed were not able to donate their blood on our school's annual donation blood camp to help them identify micronutrient deficiency and how to prevent it. We provided healthy foods, homemade recipes to the underprivileged as well as the slum dwellers.
In the midst of our entire journey, we realized how deeply Youth Power had affected each and every one of us.
Before we undertook this Youth Power project, we were 4 individuals with the fuel and passion to give back to the community and work for the society. But today, we are Team Annapurna, a group of students who now see the world through a prism of change. The perspective that we must nourish to flourish.
ये दास्तां है एक जंग की, कश्मकश एक नन्हे से बच्चे की। आइए देखते हैं किसे चुनता है वो, हेल्दी फूड या अनहेल्दी फूड।
हम हेल्दी फूड से बेटर,
हम अनहेल्दी फूड से बेटर।
नहीं हम तो हो जाए मुकाबला,
हो जाए।
देखे जरा
अपना खाना आएगा। उठ जा स्टडी टेबल से तू जा, अपने किचन में अचार और मसाला तू चाट चाट के खाएगा। आएगा अपना खाना आएगा, मेरे जैसा मोटा बच्चा तुझे ना मिल पाएगा। बर्गर और पिज्जा मेरे पेट को बढ़ाएगा, जितना मंगवाया है तू इतना ही तो खाएगा। क्योंकि अपना खाना आएगा, तू पतला ही तो आएगा, तू मोटा होकर जाएगा।
अपना खाना आएगा, उठ जा अपनी टेबल से तू जा, सब्जी मंडी में घिया टिंडा तोड़ी तू चाट चाट के खाएगा। आएगा अपना खाना आएगा, मेरे जैसा फिट बच्चा तुझे ना मिल पाएगा। हेल्दी फूड मुझे फिट बनाएगा, जितना बनवाया है तू सब खा जाएगा। ऐसे मेरा बेल्ट जो तगड़ों को सताएगा, ऐसे मेरी बॉडी तू कैसे जीत पाएगा। क्योंकि अपना खाना आएगा। हेल्दी फूड की दुनिया में बच्चों का क्या काम है, हेल्दी फूड की दुनिया में बच्चों का क्या काम है। जितना प्यारा बर्गर, ओहो, जितना प्यारा बर्गर मूली में क्या जान है, जितना प्यारा बर्गर मूली में क्या जान है। मैकडी से मंगवा लो, मैकडी से मंगवा लो, सब्जी का क्या काम है। 12 महीने में 12 तरीके से फ्रूट सैलेड खाऊंगा मैं। ढिंक चिका ढिंक चिका ढिंक चिका ढिंक चिका ए ए ए ए ए ए ए ए। तेरा ध्यान किधर है, तेरा जंक फूड इधर है। तेरा ध्यान किधर है, तेरा जंक फूड इधर है। एक बार जो मैंने कमिटमेंट कर ली, मैं अपनी भी नहीं सुनता।
These are our youngest performers for the day. Let's give it up for them. Can we have the team on stage, please?
Good afternoon, team. Lovely presentation. So my question is that how do you counter the impact of media, in shaping food choices? And you will see a lot of commercials really targeted at young people and making it very attractive for them. And there's that cost factor also. They are affordable and cheap. So how will you, how is that a problem for you? How will you challenge that? How will you counter that?
Ma'am, in general, what we realize through a number of our activities and even our research is that media does affect a lot. It does affect the kind of perspective that we have towards malnutrition. I mean, I am pretty sure that even in the auditorium right now, a lot of people would think that obesity isn't a dimension of malnutrition, which is what we believe since the starting. And we think a person who's very thin, someone whose bones can be visible, that is the definition of someone who's malnourished. And that is where the impact of the media comes in. That is where our social media engagement came in, our social experiments. That the first thing that we need to make someone realize is what malnutrition really is. We can't really be working on a topic when someone believes something totally different towards what we're working. And as to the cost factor that you just mentioned, towards the unprivileged section of the society, the major problem that comes is they don't have those resources. But it is our fortune that the government has a plethora of schemes. The Integrated Child Development Scheme, the infamous midday meal scheme, which is implemented so well. We went to a number of government schools and we noticed that there would be people coming in every day to make sure that the children were eating their meals. And there was no meal being wasted either, which is something we just love to see, that the children are so enthusiastic about it. As for the privileged section of the society, this is the most disheartening part about our campaign, that when we went there, we noticed we have all the resources we do, we have all the finances we do, yet we don't exactly work towards malnutrition because we think for all we have, how can we ever be malnourished? Which is why that is the part where we created awareness. We made everyone realize that there is no exception here, there is no special one here. We all are prone to malnutrition if we do not take care of our bodies.
Adding to that, man, like media is a very powerful tool. Youngsters of our generation are all on media. So like using media to propagate all these junk foods, that is why one of our main objectives was to use social media to propagate healthy food eating, because youngsters of our generation can relate to that. When we put stuff on social media, they can actually think that yes, this is what is happening, this is what we should believe in.
Thank you, team.
Congratulations, first of all. My question to you is, nutrition, is it costly?
Ma'am, I'll just point out the same fact that we came across and we were even baffled by. 16 rupees per day is what it takes a child to get all the vitamins and nutrients that he or she needs to remain healthy. Not even just to sustain, but to remain healthy. And the cost factor eventually boils down to the fact if we want to take care of ourselves or not. It always boils down to how much effort we also want to make.
And ma'am, regarding that cost factor, we also visited Sanjay Colony in the Okhla phase 2, wherein we ourselves provided healthy food and homemade recipes to a lot of people who were not able to afford basic diet, basic nutrients. We encountered a lot of cases wherein people had lack of iron and other essential nutrients. Therein we provided them with our food. We also provide diet charts for them so that they can follow a proper diet after our interaction with them.
Thank you, team Push Bihar. Let's hear it for AIS PV. Thank you, team.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. The lunch is on me today, so enjoy. Thank you.
Sir, may I leave now? I'm done.
Do you always waste this amount of food?
और नहीं खा सकता।
Hey, this could have quenched someone's thirst. Do you always waste this amount of food when you go out to eat at a restaurant?
बस पेट भर गया।
Food worth $2.6 million is wasted every single year. Food that is enough to feed 815 million people thrice. Now, this may be just a number for some of you. For some, this is a stark reality of life. A reality that the Youth Power team of Amity 43 tried to change. Let's welcome on stage Team AIS Gurgaon 43, Chaitanya Popli, Simran Swaika, Kanu Garg and Pratham Maheshwari. Let's hear it for AIS 43.
सिर्फ बातें करना मेरा मकसद नहीं, मेरी कोशिश है कि ये सूरत बदलनी चाहिए। मेरी थाली में अगर रोटी है तो उसकी थाली भी खाली नहीं जानी चाहिए।
अनादि भवन्ति भूतानि, अर्थात आहार से ही समस्त प्राणियों का जन्म होता है, और अगर यही आहार किसी को ना मिले तो ये पेट की आग साहब इंसान को वहशी बना देती है।
Our hearts go out to such people who undergo severe pangs of hunger under the realms of poverty and the dearth of resources. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hand on your heart and tell me if we can truly call ourselves a developing nation with greatness on the horizon when millions go hungry to bed at night.
Let me begin by asking you a question. How many of you have ever left food on your plate?
How many of you have been to restaurants and ordered more than you could have eaten?
How many of you have ever thought of donating your food?
How many of you have ever thought of using the leftover food?
We are sure none.
हमारे विषय के चुनाव के पीछे हमारी ममतामयी चेयरपर्सन डॉक्टर अमिता मैम का हाथ है। मैम ने सदैव हमें कहानियों, प्रसंगों और कविताओं के द्वारा जीवन मूल्य सिखाया है। वास्तव में ये कटु सत्य है कि आज रोटी, कपड़ा और मकान मनुष्य की समस्या नहीं है, बल्कि आज की विकराल समस्या है रोटी। भारत में हर वर्ष 34,000 किलो टन गेहूं बर्बाद होता है, जो कि 50 करोड़ 40 लाख 350 लोगों का पेट भर सकता है।
We set up roti banks at the school reception where students put in leftover rotis. These 6 kgs of rotis were taken to a gaushala to feed cows.
मैं, आप और हम सब शादी पार्टी में खाने की वैरायटी को देखकर प्लेट में जरूरत से ज्यादा भर लेते हैं, जिससे न हम केवल अपनी सेहत के साथ खिलवाड़ करते हैं बल्कि अन्न का भी अपमान करते हैं। क्षमा कीजिए, यहाँ कोई ऐसा व्यक्ति है जो इस प्रकार खाना बर्बाद ना करता हो? क्या आपने 2 पल निकाल के सोचा कि शादी रात की जगह सुबह होती और सामूहिक होती तो क्या होता?
If weddings took place during the day instead of the evening, a lot of food left over could be donated that very day without the fear of it getting spoiled. The team visited the site of a Samuhik Viva where we guided people. We also donated food post the Winter Carnival which fed up to 115 people.
शॉपिंग करना किसको नहीं पसंद? सेल के नाम पर भर भर के राशन ले आना। एक्सपायरी कौन देखता है? आप देखते हैं या आप देखते हैं? राशन 40 दिन का, जबकि एक्सपायरी 4 दिन बाद की।
We conversed with various restaurant owners and we saw a daily trend of shopping instead of a monthly one. A positive change indeed. We were able to collect 17 kgs of oranges and 135 kgs of extra pulses and donated it to the Earth Savior Foundation, which accounted for a day's worth of meal for over 500 people.
मिठाइयों का बढ़ जाना और त्योहारों का आना एक दूसरे के पर्याय बन गए हैं।
How many of you had leftover sweets after Diwali? Did you think what to do with that?
We did. This year, a change was brought. We collected excess sweets post-Diwali from students across the school. These 65 kgs of sweets were then donated to the Gaurav Foundation for Social and Human Development.
हमारे इस महान कार्य में इन महान हस्तियों जिसमें आयुष्मान खुराना, डॉक्टर तनुश्री सिंह, मेनका गांधी ने अपना बहुमूल्य योगदान देने का आश्वासन दिया। We were able to sensitize over 500 people via social media.
न केवल हमने अन्न के दुरुपयोग को रोकने की कोशिश की, बल्कि फल और सब्जियों के छिलकों से भी सौंदर्य प्रसाधन एवं खाद बनाए। Did anyone think of using these waste fields in a more productive way? I bet no one.
Involving the nation is key to bring about a tangible change. We observed tremendous national support at a national competition hosted by us, the Eat Right Championship, where over 10 schools participated. Restaurants like Om Sweets tied up with us to donate their excess food for 3 weeks.
Through our activity, Dabba Khali Pet Full, food monitors ensured that each tiffin goes back to home without even a little bit of left food.
Having talked enough about the cause, let us bring you face to face and sensitize you with certain shocking facts.
An area larger than China is used to produce food that is never consumed.
25% of the world's fresh water is used to grow food that is never eaten.
If all the food consumed was made into a country, it would be the 3rd largest country producing CO2, surpassing China and the US.
India wastes as much food as is consumed by the United Kingdom.
आज जब तक आप सभी हमारे साथ ये प्रतिज्ञा नहीं ले लेते कि परोसेंगे उतना थाली में, व्यर्थ न जाए नाली में।
अन्न का होगा ना उपहास, मिलकर आओ करें प्रयास।
गर हाथ को मिले हाथ और सबका हो साथ,
तो दुनिया में कहीं भूख से मरे ना आदमजात। जय हिंद।
आज खुश बर्गर है, पास्ता, पनीर सब है। तुम पार्टी में खाते हो, शादी में खाते हो, जन्म पर खाते हो और मैयत पर भी। क्या सिर्फ खाने के लिए जीते हो?
पूछो उन मासूम निगाहों से, उन बेबस आहों से, जिन्हें ना भोजन का अधिकार, बस बीमार हैं, असहाय हैं, लाचार हैं। तुम कभी भरी प्लेट फेंकते हो, कभी बेसुवाद कहकर बिगड़ते हो, बर्बाद करते हो। विरासत में मिला है ना तुम्हें खाना, अधिकार है तुम्हारा, इसलिए फेंक देते हो खाना।
पूछो उन घायल हाथों से, वो क्या महसूस करते हैं जब वो जानवरों के जबड़ों से निवाला नोचते हैं। क्या कसूर है उन लोगों का जिनके पास भूख तो है पर रोटी नहीं।
दिल तो है सीने में पर वो धड़कता नहीं। साहब, ये पेट की आग है, आदमी को वहशी बना देती है। वहशी।
आओ आज हम शपथ ले, सौगंध ले, प्राण ले, खाने का एक भी दाना बर्बाद ना करेंगे।
भरे पेट ना खाएंगे,
थाली में ना बचाएंगे,
कूड़े में ना फेंकेंगे,
दान अन्न का देंगे।
अब भोजन खाना होगा अपमान, हम सब करेंगे ये योगदान। अन्नपूर्णा का है ये वरदान, अन्न का करेंगे हम सब सम्मान।
अब हमें खाना मिलेगा, मिलेगा ना?
It
It was a beautiful topic to do this presentation on. Congratulations, guys. Very well done. What I'd like to highlight and also ask you is that in developing countries such as India, a lot of food that is wasted, it's not just the food which is on the plate which is wasted. In the process from farm, the food comes to our place, a lot of food is wasted. Anything, do you want to throw some light on that? We don't have enough cold storage spaces.
Like, ma'am, the food which is on plate is almost wasted. Like, people order like food and 88% of the food which is ordered or which is cooked on the plate is wasted. Apart from that, food like in the buffer stock which is maintained by the government, a lot of food is damaged because of the expiry date plus of the climatic conditions. Because of improper storage, many of a huge amount of stock of the food gets wasted annually, which can feed countries like Australia. The amount of food which is wasted in India can be consumed by the whole country for a whole year.
Ma'am, furthermore, I'd like to add that I think there's a lot of, as you said, that there's a lot of food that's wasted during the process of it getting processed, right? So I think that's a much larger platform that, if a lot of us or if the government sort of endorsed, a lot of light could be shed upon that, because there's a lot of practice of hoarding also that goes on, because of which a lot of food gets wasted, right? So I think that's something that if shed light upon, then yes, students like us can really do something about it. Thank you. Do we have another question? Yes.
I just want you to, if you have to define the objective of your project in 1 or 2 sentences, can you please do it for me?
Thank you, ma'am, for the question. I think what we wanted to do was, I think what we really observed while we picked up this project was food is something that privileged people observe as a luxury, because as our creative communication said, हमें विरासत में मिला है. So I think the motive of our project was to go from Khan Pan Shan, khana being something to be proud of, to Khan Pan Dan, which is something that, you observe that it's a necessity that a lot of people are deprived of and that a lot of people need to be given. Thank you, team 43. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Well done.
Hi, welcome to Khana Khazana with Samiksha Ramesh, जहाँ हम और आप सीखते हैं recipes to perfect health. शिष्टा, ये जो बोन्स थी ना पहले तो बहुत मजबूत थी, पर इनकी जो डेंसिटी है ना कम होती जा रही है. तो आइए आज हम सीखते हैं रेसिपी टू परफेक्ट बोन. हमें चाहिए होंगे 5 cups of calcium, milk and milk products, soya from my sister Zoya, मखाने, sesame seeds स्वाद अनुसार, clear flags will okay. 3 cups of vitamin D, mushroom, अंडे, and sunlight. Next up, 30 minutes of exercise. Bon appetit.
46 million women in India above the age of 50 suffer from osteoporosis. What's worse is that 50% of them are not even aware of the problem. Bones that make the framework of the entire body are so utterly ignored. But there was one team that chose to be Kebab Mein Haddi. The Youth Power team of Amity Mayur Vihar. Let's give it up for Prakhar Bhargav, Pratna Signal, Ishita Gupta and Pranjal Jain. Team Amity Mayur Vihar.
91% of the people are unaware of common bone diseases like osteoporosis and osteopenia.
In India, as many as 70% of spinal fractures remain undiagnosed.
43% of the people in India do not even think that bone health is an important topic.
On our year-long journey, we came across many such people, some of which we managed to change. And today, we'll take you through the story of 5 of them, who are testimony to the fact that it is never too late or never too early to take care for something as essential as our bones.
Name: Tarushi. Age: 8 years. Problem does not like milk.
And so she went on throwing glass of milk away, and she went on throwing away glasses of milk when she didn't realize that how important it is.
In an attempt to sensitize the kids about bone health, we conducted various activities such as foodie chairs, Dance It Out, and many more.
Various other outside events also happened to not to only just emphasize about the importance of milk, but also to make the young ones understand how crucial it is to start early.
अब तारुषी रोज 2 ग्लास दूध पीती है।
अब वो सिर्फ दूध ही नहीं, वो हर एक चीज खाती है जो उसकी हड्डियों के लिए जरूरी है।
और ऐसा क्यों? क्योंकि उन्हें तो बोनटास्टिक वाले भैया और दीदी ने कहा था।
Name Saurabh, age 10, problem, does not have access to milk.
And as others throw away the glasses of milk they do not want, here sits a child who does not even have the access to it. क्या आपने कभी सोचा था कि दूध जैसी चीज भी किसी के लिए लग्जरी हो सकती है? सौरभ और उसके दोस्तों के लिए दूध भी लग्जरी था. And so the team collaborated with Feeding India to initiate the Doodh Suvidha campaign, which impacted more than 150 underprivileged kids.
Deepak, a boy who wasn't even eligible for a 10-year challenge, who was suffering from septic knee arthritis, was helped by the team when we provided them with free treatment and assistance.
खुशी होती है जब सौरभ जैसे बच्चे दूध पीते हैं।
खुशी होती है ये जानकर कि दीपक जैसे बच्चे हमारे बनाए हुए रास्ते पर चलते हैं।
खुशी होती है ये जानकर कि हम इनकी जिंदगी में कुछ कर पाए।
Name Divya, age 14, problem puberty leading to weakened bones.
Nothing paralleled Divya's aversion for green vegetables, and it especially reached a new height when she hit puberty. Even though she liked milk, she failed to realize that milk alone was not enough.
दिव्या की तरह और भी कई टीनेज गर्ल्स प्यूबर्टी कारण चेंजेस को नहीं समझ पाते. So we organize a mother and daughter workshop to ease the process of puberty and to acquaint them with hormonal changes that affect bone health. Recipes like goodness of seeds and bone meal were shared with them along with the importance of exercising and yoga.
शाम को मेरे घर आने पर जब मम्मी मुझे बोलती हैं मेरे घुटने में दर्द है, लगता है कि काश किसी ने उन्हें बताया होता जो आज हम दिव्या को बता रहे हैं.
Name Miss Shilpa, age 42, problem low bone density.
1 in every 3 women sitting in this hall is prone to an osteopenic fracture during their perimenopause stage. Isn't it that shocking? It was even shocking for Miss Shilpa, who had an extremely low bone density of -1.2. She approached the team, and along with proper nutrition and daily yoga, we were successful when her bone density increased to -0.1.
We organized various awareness drives like Shakti Utsav, a Women of India National Organic Festival, and many more to educate the women about the ill effects of aging on bones.
With her example, we were able to prove that it is never too late to start taking care of their bones.
Name Miss Shashi, age 55, problem ignorance.
No matter how many times they tell us, trust us, ignorance is not bliss. No matter how many times they tell us, do not take bones seriously, do not believe them. Today, we have taken up this initiative where we are promoting bone health because this is what we have to do right now and this is the need of the hour.
Now, Shashi and many like her are no longer ignorant or indifferent about what forms the foundation of a body.
Tarushi, Saurabh, Divya, Shilpa and Shashi. These are not mere fictional characters, but real stories of real people that our Youth Power initiative was able to touch and remodel.
And these are just a few drops in this ocean of change. And trust us, this is just the beginning. Thank you.
तो बोनटास्टिक पेश करते हैं कवाली बोन वाली.
शुरू करें.
इरशाद फरमाइए.
इस कदर रग रग में सुरूर आ जाए, कसरत करने से चेहरे पे नूर आ जाए. दुरुस्त रखनी हो हड्डी उम्र दराजी में भी, तो खाना पीना ठीक रखना हुजूर जवानी में भी. खुदा ने तुम्हें 206 हड्डियों से नवाजा,
की गोली खाई पर भूख तुझे ना भाई पिज्जा और बर्गर ने फिर बॉडी की वाट लगाई वॉक को तूने छोड़ा जंक से नाता जोड़ा डॉक्टर ने सुई लगाई तब याद आए दूध मलाई फूड सप्लीमेंट्स खाए कसरत तुझे ना सुनाए ना सुनाए ना सुनाए मार्ट के साथ सही बनना जरूरी है तुझे तो बस फ्लैट डाइट की जरूरी है बताऊं बोन हेल्थ के लिए क्या क्या करना जरूरी है इरशाद फरमाइए ड्राई फ्रूट से दिल लगा ग्रीन वेजिटेबल्स का कॉफी को तू अपना ले योगा को फ्रेंड बना ले स्ट्रेचिंग से तू ले अपना नहीं तो से डर होगा जा ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस से बचा ले आर्थराइटिस को दूर भगा ले दूर भगा ले दूर भगा ले
Can we have the team on stage for the Q&A?
Congratulations for a very wonderful presentation. So you talked about two things, lack of awareness and also lack of access. How difficult was it for you to convince your peers about the need for exercise and healthy eating? Because your generation is the one that's like addicted to screen time. So how important is it to, to go away from the screen and do some, exercising or eating right?
Thank you, ma'am, for the question. When we started this campaign, we didn't have, whenever we talk about bone health, all of a sudden you'll be like, acha, bone health, acha, chalo hoga. Even we had, at times we had the same reaction, we had bone health, why bone health? But over the past few months, we realized that how it is very essential to take care of bones and we need to start it with the younger children. As for the adolescents, I think the one thing that we realized is for us to convince them wasn't their way. The one brilliant exercise for bones is dancing.
Students at the back, please settle down.
And we had this dance performance as well, and students really enjoyed it. And since then, they realized that no, it is actually essential.
Do we have another question? Thank you, Team Mayur Vihar.
'साफ मेरे गली से, कशा करने वाले भाग मेरे गली से, मेरे गली से गली 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 से, मेरे गली से गली 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 से.
Of the world's 20 most polluted cities are in India. 62 million tons of waste is generated in India alone. India's forest cover has come down to a mere 21%. And yet, we continue to cut trees, generate waste, and not be conscious of our resources. To make a change, the Youth Power team of Amity Vasundhara 6 took up the cause of Dhara Shakti. Let's welcome on stage Mansi Gogia, Kanishka Kumar, Adrika Acharya and Gauri Dwivedi. YP team, Amity Vasundhara 6.
ये हंसी वादियाँ ये खुला आसमां ये हंसी
ये गंदी वादियाँ और ये काला आसमां आ गए हम यहाँ कहाँ?
To the place where breathing air is equivalent to smoking 44 cigarettes a day.
To the country where 1.43 lakh tons of solid waste is generated per day.
to the country with only 0.5% increase in forest cover since 2015.
क्या ऐसे ही देश का सपना देखा था हम सब ने?
नहीं. That's when we realized that however ordinary this topic seems to be, the numbers speak for themselves and this issue needs extraordinary efforts. Thus, Dhara Shakti was born.
We had high level of motivation to work on Dhara Shakti, but this couldn't have been possible without the wonderful platform that Youth Power gave us. Our vision was to strengthen our planet by eradicating the vicious habits depleting it and to further increase the green cover.
To unite the whole school and ignite them to support the cause, we took off with the pledge to work for the cause with utmost steadfastness, enthusiasm and energy.
अभी तो बच्चा है, बड़े होके समझ जाएगा. How often do we hear or say this? But today's habits are tomorrow's happenings. Thus, we prioritize the sensitization of approximately 900 plus young minds who shall uphold the nature's throne in the future.
We started off by maintaining a separate book corner for the junior wing from where they were expected to read and learn to conserve the environment. But seeing their other disinterested faces, we realized that this was not the way it had to be done.
So, we came up with out-of-the-box and intriguing activities. And as Sir William Wordsworth has rightly said, come forth into the light of things and let nature be your teacher.
We conducted an activity called Bury Your Sin, wherein students buried their sin towards the environment by writing them down on dry leaves. And we are sure that this activity appealed to their conscience towards the environment.
We modified the very famous game Tapu into an eco-friendly hopscotch. Since majority of our target audience included children became a really special milestone during our journey.
Learning about the conservation of environment to these activities was much more interesting than studying it in an environmental studies class because we all know that conceptual learning is better than rote learning.
Children found it distinct and innovative when we took them out for gardening class in the green belt near the school. They all planted a wave, and with the wave, we all planted our hopes for a better future.
बच्चों को तो बहुत समझा लिया, अब थी बारी बड़ों की. We conducted a students' version of TED Talk and named it धरा के वास्ते, जिससे उम्मीद थी कि खुल जाएंगे नए रास्ते.
We got a chance to participate in the Swachhata Mahotsav organized by the Ghaziabad DM. The team got a part of various activities like a large rally, a Scottish band performance, and a best out of waste exhibition to generate awareness.
An activity that is close to all of our hearts is the revival of the dead, wherein parents and students had to tie paper leaves on a dead plant, symbolizing its revival. Because the best time to grow trees was 20 years ago, and the next best time is now.
We were fortunate enough to meet eminent personalities like General V.K. Singh, Mayor of Ghaziabad, Ms. Asha Sharma, Leader of BJP Yuva Morcha, Mr. Sunil Yadav, and Deputy CM of Delhi, Mr. Manish Sisodia. Interacting with them gave all of us valuable knowledge and an unforgettable experience which we all can carry with us for years to come.
बातें तो बहुत कर ली, हम सब में थी कुछ पाने की आस.
पर बात बनती है कुछ करने से, बदलाव लाना था हमें कोई खास.
हर कप से निकलता प्लास्टिक, स्टायरोफोम, कार्बन या पेपर, ये सभी हैं जहरीले ड्रैगन्स. Therefore, we ban the use of these disposable cups in school and encourage the teachers to bring their own mugs. Production of 1 cup of paper produces about 0.11 kilogram of CO2, and we avoided the emission of about 660 kilograms of CO2 monthly.
Our next sea change came with the transformation of the parking area adjoining our school. Whenever we used to pass that barren land, we used to hear people say, "इस जगह का कोई कुछ क्यों नहीं करता है?"
कोई करे या ना करे, हमने तो कुछ करने की ठान ही ली थी. And so we went ahead with the mission of revamping the entire area and maintaining a green belt around the same. And now the same barren land is a green site for sore eyes.
We have sown the tiny little seed of change in countless young hearts. And even if half of these seeds flourish in the form of conscientious citizens, then we are sure this country will be like we all want to see it.
Green and clean.
जब ये पेड़ बड़े होंगे तो सबको फल की प्राप्ति हो.
तो समय आ गया है कि समझे महत्व इस धरा का.
दे सहयोग जरा सा, समय लगेगा ना ज्यादा, पूरा होगा हमारा ये वादा.
कोशिशें जाएंगी ना खाली, हर तरफ होगी हरियाली,
चारों ओर होगी खुशहाली.
बदबू, इतना बड़ा कचरे का ढेर. कौन है?
क्यों डर रहे हो बच्चे? मैं तुम सबकी आदतों से ही तो जन्मा हूँ. मैं हूँ कचरा
कचरासुर?
मैं काल हूँ, कराल हूँ, तुम्हारा ही सवाल हूँ। इस धरा पर जन्मा मैं तुम्हारा ही कमाल हूँ। कचरा जो फैलाया तुमने यहाँ वहाँ फेंका था, उसके इकट्ठा होने से मेरा तन ये चहका था। पेड़ काटे तुमने जो उद्योगों को लगाया था, उद्योग के धुएं से तुमने मन मेरा महकाया था। डायरिया मलेरिया ये है मेरा परिवार, प्रदूषित हवा से हम करते तुम्हें बीमार, बहुत बीमार।
तू काल है, कराल है, हमारा ही कमाल है। पर मत भूल, जिस दिन ठाना हमने, तू न बच पाएगा। इस कचरे से जन्मा तू धरा में मिल जाएगा। कचरे को डिकम्पोज कर खाद हम बनाएंगे। मृदा अपरदन रोकने को पेड़ हम लगाएंगे। वर्षा के जल को संरक्षित कर भूजल स्तर बढ़ाएंगे। शुद्ध होगी वायु, ऑक्सीजन का स्तर भी बढ़ जाएगा। खिलेगा जीवन, वन उपवन लहराएगा। खाते हैं कसम, कचरा ना फैला, तुझे दूर भगाएंगे। स्वच्छ भारत का निर्माण कर स्वस्थ भारत अब बनाएंगे।
Moving on to the question and answers.
Congratulations, very creative. I just want to ask, can you relate the name of the project with the objective of the project?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, the vicious habits of people like throwing garbage here and there and not caring about their surroundings and environment actually depletes the environment and our dhara, our earth. So our vision was to strengthen the planet by depleting those habits of those people, and also at the same time sensitizing children and the young hearts to grow in them a passion to care for their country, and in the future our dhara would be more powerful than it is right now.
We are ordinary citizens of this country, and any bit we do for this country is going to be special one day, and with this motive we took forward the objective of Dhara Shakti.
Do we have another question? Thank you, team.
Thank you, ma'am.
ममता भी तू, क्षमता भी तू, बादल भी तू, आंचल भी तू, मेरा आज तू, मेरा कल भी तू, बस तू ही तू. 11 years, 500 leaders, countless lives touched, and all of which started with one single person, Dr. Mrs. Amita Chauhan, Chairperson, Amity Group of Schools. For those of us outside the red brick building might just know her as the chairperson of Amity Group of Schools. But for any of us who've worked closely with her, know that behind the chairperson is a mother who's always wanted to instill the best values in her children. And ma'am, while today may not be Mother's Day, but this is a small token of our appreciation for you.
Team Dhara Shakti would like to thank respected Chairperson Ma'am for providing the students, the youth, a platform like Youth Bar.
I personally believe that the best thing about it is that there is no other school that would provide such a great platform for social work. Her belief in us that we Amitians are the future leaders has made us believe in ourselves. Her belief in us that we are the future leaders has made us realize that we have the power to change the world.
When we met our dear chairperson ma'am at the annual function, she was very happy to see the orange peel scrub that we presented to her. She told us that she used to use the same orange scrub that Team Khan Pandan made during her childhood. This greatly inspired us to keep moving forward and bring a change from our initiative.
The day that Team Annapurna got a chance to interact with Chairperson Ma'am and she told us about her stories was when we realized the stark difference in the nutrition of youngsters years ago and the nutrition that youngsters have today. Her stories were what inspired us and motivated us to take up the cause of malnutrition and work towards it. She has encouraged us greatly and motivated us to reach greater heights every day.
Team Prabhakriti had the opportunity to show Chairperson Ma'am the sanitary napkin dispenser we had installed in a charitable school. She was really impressed to see our initiative to influence the world not just in Amity but beyond as well.
She has been a constant source of inspiration for us and commented how working for others is what makes us complete human beings and will fulfill Founder Sir's vision to make India a superpower. We're extremely grateful to our respected Chairperson Ma'am for providing us this esteemed institution and the wonderful mentors who inspire us to do better every day.
Youth Power has made us think about all the problems that exist in our society and which we often take for granted and made us capable to bring a change for the same. Youth Power has helped us unleash our inner potential and given us a platform for personal growth and development. Ma'am, it will be great if you can share your experience with our IGL.
We still remember the day when Chairperson Ma'am had come to our school and enlightened us with invaluable words. She truly instilled in us the confidence that we can bring about a change when she said that मैं चाहती हूँ कि हर एक बच्चे की जुबान पे ऊर्जा हो और हर शहर ऊर्जा से जगमग करे.
Thank you, Chairperson Ma'am, for providing us with this opportunity to be an important asset to this society.
It was an immense pleasure on working on this cause. It was a great learning experience for all of us. After meeting our dearest Chairperson Ma'am, we knew that we were on the right track with the right cause.
We are very thankful to you, ma'am, because you inspired us to become vegetarian as you yourself are a vegetarian. So this is a very great step to sustain the humanity and we want to bring the change in the society through Youth Power.
Thank you, Chairperson Ma'am. Thank you, Chairperson Ma'am.
Thank you, Chairperson Ma'am.
Thank you, Chairperson Ma'am. Thank you, Chairperson Ma'am.
Thank you, Chairperson Ma'am.
Thank you, Chairperson Ma'am. Thank you, Chairperson Ma'am. Thank you, Chairperson Ma'am. We thank you, Chairperson Ma'am. Thank you, Chairperson Ma'am.
And on that note, ma'am, can I please have you on stage to share with us a few words?
Very good afternoon, children. Judges, so honored, so happy that you have taken the time, your valuable time, to judge my children. मैं बच्चों, प्यारे बच्चों, मैं आप लोगों को बताना चाहती हूँ, मैं आज बहुत खुश हूँ, बहुत इमोशनल हो रही हूँ कि मेरे बच्चों ने कितना काम किया है और काम भी पूरी श्रद्धा से, पूरे कमिटमेंट से, पूरे प्यार से, और आप लोगों ने जो प्रेजेंटेशन में दिखाया बहुत ही कम दिखा पाए आप लोग, जो आपने काम किया है। मैंने आपका एक एक चीज़ पढ़ी हर प्रोजेक्ट की। अभी 2 दिन पहले मेरा जो हेल्पर है वो इतना बड़ा फाइल उठा के लेके आया। अरे मैंने कहा तुम क्या ले आए मेरे पास? तो मैंने जब देखा कि बच्चों का आप लोगों का प्रोजेक्ट देखा तो मैंने आप लोगों का पढ़ा, क्योंकि मैं देखना चाहती थी कि मेरे एमिटियंस इन्होंने कैसा किया है। जब मैंने पढ़ा तो एक एक चीज़ मुझे बहुत खुशी हुई। मुझे लग गया कि हमारा देश बदलेगा और उस देश को बदलने वाले और कोई नहीं आप ही होंगे। जो मैं हमेशा कहती हूँ कि मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि मेरे एमिटियंस इस देश को बदलेंगे। इट्स अ फैक्ट, सामने आ रहा है। अभी हमारे प्रोजेक्ट को सोशल, आप लोग जो है नाउ यू आर द सोशल एंटरप्रेन्योर्स। अरे आप लोग मिनिस्टर से मिलने गए, मैंने कहा बड़े डेयरिंग है। और जितने भी ऑफिशियल्स ऑन द टॉप ऑफिशियल्स अपने अपने प्रोजेक्ट में आप लोग मिले, देखा, अपनी बात बताई, समझाई, तो इससे दिखाई दे रहा है कि साफ कि आप लोगों में कमिटमेंट के साथ साथ डेयरनेस भी है। अब यू कैन स्पीक टू द पीपल अबाउट योर प्रोजेक्ट। आप उसको समझिए अच्छी तरह से, समझिए अच्छी तरह से कि ये कितना ज़रूरी है देश के बदलाव के लिए। एजुकेशन और हेल्थ बड़ा इम्पॉर्टेंट है टू चेंज इंडिया, और मेरे एमिटियंस ज़रूर करेंगे। ये मेरे हमेशा से श्रद्धा रही है, मुझे हमेशा से विश्वास रहा है। द डे आई स्टार्टेड माई वर्क दैट वाज इन 1991, और मैं देखते देखते मुझे हमेशा हमेशा आपको एनुअल डे में भी कहती हूँ कि मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि मेरे एमिटियंस ही इस देश को बदलेंगे। मैं ज़्यादा नहीं बोलना चाहती आज, बस मैं यही कहना चाहती हूँ कि एक माँ जो होती है ना, आई ऑलवेज से आई एम नॉट अ चेयरपर्सन, आई वर्क एज अ मदर टू ऑल माई एमिटियंस। और माँ की हमेशा यही चाहत होती है कि मेरे बच्चे दुनिया में सबसे अच्छे बने हैं। हर माँ की यही इच्छा होती है। तो एज अ मदर मैं तो हज़ारों की माँ हूँ, और जब हज़ारों की जो माँ जब है ना, दिल से प्रार्थना करती है भगवान से। माँ दिल से कहती है कि मेरे बच्चे, हे प्रभु मेरे बच्चों को इतनी शक्ति देना, इतनी हिम्मत देना, इतनी चाहत देना कि अपना जो भी कुछ काम करें ये अपने पूरे काम में खरे उतरें। तो आज आप लोग खरे उतर गए हो, बहुत बहुत बधाई, बहुत बहुत तालियां। और मैं ताली बजाऊंगी आज, मैं ज़्यादा ज़ोर से ताली नहीं बजा सकती, ज़्यादा ज़ोर से बोल नहीं सकती, तो पर मैं जब ताली बजाऊंगी तो मैं तालियां आप ज़ोर से बजाएंगे। सबसे बड़ी ताली आपकी टीचर्स के लिए, जो आपके टीम लीडर्स, टीम मेंबर्स। आप फिर उनके हस्बैंड्स के लिए भी बजाएंगे। यहाँ पर है नहीं, क्योंकि मुझे पता है ना, हस्बैंड को भी काफ़ी सेक्रीफाइस, हस्बैंड ने भी बहुत मेहनत करी होगी साथ में। और फिर मैं आपको अपने ताली अपने पेरेंट्स के लिए बजाएंगे, क्योंकि ज़रूर आपके पेरेंट्स ने आपको सपोर्ट किया होगा। और सबसे बड़ी ताली अब कमिंग टू ताली टू योर प्रिंसिपल, टू योर वाइस प्रिंसिपल एंड योर कोऑर्डिनेटर। बहुत ज़ोर से बजाइए, बहुत कम है ना, ये ताली बहुत कम है, ज़रा ज़ोर से बजाइए। अब है ना, कहते the loudest tali will be for the Global Times. The managing editor वीरा शर्मा, खड़े होकर ताली बजाइए इसके लिए। हाँ, देखिए क्योंकि मेरा तो एक सपना ही था। आज से 11 साल पहले वीरा को बोला, वीरा कहते हैं कि भाई हमें ऐसा कुछ काम करना चाहिए जो हमारे बच्चे सोसाइटी के लिए कुछ कर सकें, कुछ ऐसा निकालो आइडिया। तो वीरा केम विद दिस आइडिया कि मैम ऐसे ऐसे कर सकते हैं। तो मैंने कहा वीरा वी शुड डू इट, क्योंकि मैं चाहती हूँ कि मेरे बच्चे अपने पढ़ाई के साथ, अपने काम के साथ कुछ सोसाइटी के लिए भी करना सीखें। उसी से आदमी को आत्मिक शांति मिलती है, खुशी मिलती है, हैप्पीनेस मिलती है, जब आप दूसरों के लिए भी कुछ कर सकें। तभी सारा देश, अपना फैमिली सुखी रहेगी। जब फैमिली सुखी है तो सोसाइटी सुखी है, सोसाइटी सुखी है तो देश सुखी है, देश इज़ हैप्पी एंड द पूरा वर्ल्ड इज़ हैप्पी। तो ये प्रोसेस को बनाने के लिए कि द वर्ल्ड बिकम अ हैप्पी प्लेस, तो ये हमने प्रोग्राम स्टार्ट किया। तो वीरा यू आर ग्रेट। मैं कल ही कह रही थी वीरा आई एम सो थैंकफुल टू यू। वीरा और उसकी टीम कम पूरी टीम को बुलाओ। ये सब टीम के लिए अब ताली बजाएंगे। ये लोग आप लोगों के साथ लगातार गाइडेड यू। जोर से भाई। आई एम सो थैंकफुल टू द होल टीम। आपको तो ग्लोबल टाइम्स का पता है ना, द मेकिंग ऑफ द न्यूज़पेपर कॉन्टेस्ट भी होता है। अभी हमारा जो अवार्ड सेरेमनी होगी फिल्म फेयर अवार्ड से कम नहीं होगी, बल्कि ज़्यादा ही तालियां होंगी, है ना। तो वीरा नाव कहते हैं थैंक यू सचिलन, थैंक यू सो मच, थैंक यू, ग्रेट। और आज हमारा इस टाइम हमारा ये हो रहा है, यूथ पावर का हो रहा है, और इधर रिजल्ट निकलने वाला है, उधर 12th का रिजल्ट निकल रहा है। तो हमारी प्रिंसिपल की तो बुरी हालत है। दे आर जस्ट वेटिंग फॉर द रिजल्ट का क्या होगा और इस रिजल्ट का क्या होगा। तो जो भी रिजल्ट होगा, आई वॉन्ट टू से टू माई प्रिंसिपल, बेस्ट ही होगा, डोंट वरी। हमारे बीच में हमारे साइंटिस्ट हैं मिस्टर राजीव शर्मा। वी आर सो ऑनर्ड राजीव जी, थैंक यू सो मच। सब आप सबको दिखा दीजिए एक में कि वर्ल्ड का बेस्ट ऑफ साइंस ब्रेन है ये, कहते हैं। नाउ ही इज विद अस। अभी रिसेंटली फाउंडर प्रेसिडेंट हैज आस्क्ड राजीव शर्मा जी कि बिकम अ bridge between the school and the university to guide the children for the science projects. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. I am very thankful to judges. आपको भगवान बहुत पुण्य देगा, क्योंकि आप बच्चों के लिए काम कर रहे हैं। आप बच्चों की जज, मैंने आप देखा कितना मुश्किल है, इतनी मोटी मोटी फाइल बिल को सारा कि जज करना, एक एक एक्टिविटी, कितनी एक्टिविटीज़ बच्चों ने की हैं। पर मुझे दुख लग रहा था कि वो बच्चे अपनी सारी एक्टिविटीज़ दिखा नहीं पाए। वीरा कुछ और करना पड़ेगा, है ना, जिससे सारी एक्टिविटीज़ बच्चे दिखा पाएँ कि क्या क्या करा है। तो लास्ट जोर से नहीं बोलूँगी, 3 cheers फॉर एमिटी करेंगे, हिप्पी पूरे करेंगे, हाथ ऊपर खड़ा करेंगे, जोर से जोश दिखाएंगे, ठीक है ना। आर यू रेडी टू डू इट? ठीक है, 3 cheers फॉर एमिटी, हिप 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 हिप। Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
All right, the moment we've waited for, the award ceremony. Who's taking the trophy home?
Children, ma'am is not feeling well and still she came here. We gave so much of clap to everybody. I think biggest clap goes for Chairperson ma'am for encouraging us.
I'd like to request our jury members and guests to please join us on stage for the award ceremony. All right, so which school gets the trophy this year? We will start by giving the award for the best research strategy. The award for the best research strategy, guesses anyone? It is Amity Jagdishpur. The winner of Best Research Strategy, Amity Jagdishpur. Our next award is for the Best Community Outreach Program. The school that is getting this award, I don't hear them cheering. It is Amity Pushp Bihar. Can we have the team, their mentor teacher and the school principal on stage, please? Amity Pushp Bihar, winners of Best Community Outreach Program. Wait, let them get that. Let's hear it for Amity Pushp Bihar, winners of Best Community Outreach. All right, our next award for the Best Fund Generation Model. Saket kahan hai? It is Amity Saket, winners of Best Fund Generation Model, working on the cause of eye care for eye care. Amity Saket, cheer for your team.
Amit, you can be louder than that.
And now, the award for Best Social Implementation. Just because you were the loudest, you should take away this award. Winners of Best Social Implementation, Amity Gurgaon 46. And now let's hear it for Amity 46, winners of Best Social Implementation, working on the cause of sustainable energy. Up next, our next award is for the Best Social Media Engagement. हड्डियां थक गई इन लोगों की काम करते करते. Amity Mayur Vihar, this one's yours. Winners of Best Social Media Engagement, Amity Mayur Vihar. Our next award is for the Best Panel Discussion. We have on stage winners of Best Social Media Engagement, Amity Mayur Vihar. And now for the winners of Best Panel Discussion. 43, it is you. Let's hear it for Amity 43, winners of Best Panel Discussion. We have on stage AIS Gurgaon 43, winners of Best Panel Discussion. And now for our next award, the Best Awareness Movie. Amity Vasundhara, Sector 1. Can we have the team along with the mentor teacher on stage? We have on stage Amity Vasundhara 1, winners of Best Awareness Movie. Our next award is for the Best Creative Communication. Sector 6. Noida जीतेगा. Our next award, Noida Best Documentation. The winners of Best Documentation, Amity Noida. Can we have the YP team of Amity Noida on stage quickly? Amity Noida on stage. Let's hear it for Amity Noida, winners of Best Documentation. Let's hear it for AIS Noida. Our last award in this segment is the Jury Special Mention Award. This award goes to AIS VKC Lucknow. Can we have the Youth Power team and their mentor teacher on stage? Amity Schools from Delhi. This is a new and upcoming school, so let's give them a huge round of applause, everyone. Amity VKC Lucknow, winners of Jury Special Mention Award. Alright, before we move on to our final awards, there are some very, very important people that we need to thank. Kids, if you could please maintain decorum at the back. If the Youth Power teams have worked hard, and if one team will win today, it will be because of our mentor teachers. So let's give a huge round of applause to all our mentor teachers. Can we please have our mentor teachers on stage? I'd like to call on Jyoti Mutreja, Amity 43, Sarita Chittal, AIS Gurgaon 46, Sonali Jain, Amity Mayur Vihar, Sanyukta Priya, Amity Noida, Lavanya Jain, Amity Pushpehar, Garima Pandey, Amity Saket, Sonia Rao, AIS Vasundhara 1, Meena Negi, AIS Vasundhara 6, Surangama Prasad, AIS VKC Lucknow, and Amarnath Sharma, Amity Jagdishpur. I think all the teachers deserve a standing ovation for whatever they have done. Wait. We have the award for the best mentor teacher. Mentor teacher, Youth Power 18-19. It is Sarita Chittal, Amity 46. Best mentor teacher Sarita Chittal, AIS Gurgaon 46. Let's give a huge round of applause to all the mentor teachers. The best mentor teacher gets a cash prize of 5,000 rupees as a token of appreciation from Chairperson Ma'am. अब नोएडा को कुछ नहीं चाहिए. Second runner up. Does anybody want second runner up? Second runner up goes to Amity Saket. Amity Saket, this is the time when you cheer for your school. Let's hear it first. Amity Saket, second runner-up, Youth Bar 2018-19. And now for the first runner-up. The first runner-up position for Youth Par 18-19 is bagged by Gurgaon 46. Amity 46, first runner-up, Youth Par 18-19. Wait, there is a tie at the first runner-up position. Can we have the creative team of Amity 46 on stage too? Creative communication team, Amity 46, can we quickly have you on stage for the group photograph? Let's hear it for Amity 46, first runners-up, Youth Par 18-19. And now the tie that we spoke of. This position is jointly shared by, it is Amity Mayur Vihar. Amity Mayur Vihar, first runner-up, Youth Par 18-19. Let's hear it for AIS Mayur Vihar. Let's hear it for Amity Mayur Vihar. The creative communication team, please join them on stage for a group photograph. Amity Mayur Vihar, clap for yourself. This is your moment. And now for the final winners of Youth Part 2018-19. नोएडा को कुछ नहीं मिलेगा. जीतेगा भाई जीतेगा, नोएडा जीतेगा. Amity Noida, winners of Youth Bar 18-19. The winner's trophy goes to Amity Noida. Let's hear it for AIS Noida, winners of Youth Bar 18-19. Let's hear it for Amity Noida one more time. The creative communication team of Amity Noida, can we please have you on stage? AIS Noida, winners of Youth Bar 18-19. Thank you, Noida. You may vacate the stage now. Thank you.